John, we welcome you to the loud house of the league. Arco Arena in Sacramento sold out and rocking as Shaq and the Lakers try to climb closer to 500. The Kings try to go 20 over 500. Mike Tirico, Bill Walton, Tom Tolbert will be joined by Stuart Scott in a little bit. Guys, we can talk about it all you want, but if you're an NBA fan, you're watching, you know what Kings-Lakers means. They don't like them. They don't like them. Let's get it up.
Because of Sacramento's injuries, the Lakers have to win this game. They can ride Shaq's gradual progression to the return to the top. The Lakers coming off their biggest road win of the season. For Sacramento, they have to adjust to Chris Webber not being there. He gives them the numbers, he gives them the safety net, and it's his help defense that is critical to the Sacramento Kings' success. How limited that has been against the Lakers.
Well, it's been interesting. Before this year, it was the Kings who always had to prove they could beat the Lakers. I'm not saying the Lakers need to prove they can beat the Kings, but they need to prove they can win against good teams on the road consistently. They got one under the belt against Phoenix. Can they follow up on that tonight against the talented Sacramento team, albeit missing a couple key components?
Lakers first time here, guys, since June 2nd when they won Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals to advance to the NBA Finals and eliminate the Nets in 4 straight. Vlade Divac, Shaquille O'Neal will jump center. Joey Crawford, 25-year NBA veteran, will toss it, works the game with Derek Stafford and Derek Richardson. Sold out. They were chanting, beat LA in the warm-up, so they are ready here in Sacramento.
They were chanting that at the airport.
It has been electric the last 48 hours here in Sacktown. Kings played last night, beat Seattle 95-77. Derek Fisher missed the first shot, and here come the Kings. I should point out that Robert Horry got the start for the Lakers. Instead, Samaki Walker. Horry coming off his 16-point season high in the last outing, in LA win at Phoenix. Stojakovic chases down the miss.
And that's a gamble by Phil Jackson.
Vlade hits the first field goal of the night.
That's one thing he's always been able to do, is he's able to draw Shaq out. Well, I was going to say he's able to draw Shaq outside. Shaq won't go outside. That will be there all night for Vlade if he chooses to take it.
Here is O'Neal. Figure a heavy dose of Shaq inside because of no Chris Webber, no Scott Pollard, a few less big bodies. Bryant double teamed, looking for the foul, taken away by Mike Bibby. Zahidou Turkoglu, who had a terrific game last night, and Turkoglu, the third-year player from Turkey, is fouled.
Derek Fisher raises his arm not to the scorer's table, but to the other end of the court. It says, where is the foul, as Kobe Bryant flashes into the lane.
Rick Adelman's been dealing with injuries right throughout, and Fox picks up the personal foul. Rick is public enemy number 1 here. Rick won't be running for mayor of Sacramento at any point. You can hear from the reaction of the foul call. Of course, Fox was involved in the fight with Doug Christie in the preseason. Didn't shake hands with some of the Sacramento Kings on Christmas Day, the game on ABC, but here he came out and bumped chest with Vlade, and they exchanged a smile as Stojakovic hits the first.
Well, you remember that started a couple years ago against Portland in the playoffs, where he kind of took on the role of enforcer on that team, and I'm not sure if it coincided with him being on Oz, and he just kind of got in this mindset that I'm going to be physical, I'm going to be the guy on the team that's not going to take any crap, because you look at the rest of his team, not a lot of physical players outside Shaq, but he can't be an enforcer and pick up fouls. I think Rick kind of relishes that role.
He no longer needs to be the enforcer. Shaq takes care of all those duties.
Here's O'Neal. The triangle starts with the entry pass, goes over Vlade. Turkoglu has added weight, 15 pounds in the offseason, helping him crash the glass. Divac comes away with the rebound.
An opportunity to get extremely aggressive on the backboard. The refs are calling nothing.
And a tie up there and a quick whistle. A loose ball foul is called on the Kings. It'll be Laker ball. Let's go check in. We've taken the Stu out of the studio tonight. Stuart Scott's with us here in Arco. Buddy.
Mike, pregame, you saw all the Lakers and the Kings giving each other love. Not what you might expect. All of them hugged except Rick Fox and Doug Christie. Rick Fox told me earlier today, I said, have you talked to Doug at all since your preseason brawl? He said, no, that'll come after basketball. I said, after basketball this season or after basketball career? He said, after basketball career. Right now, the stakes are just too high. Mike, let's go back to you.
Okay, Stu, the Lakers 0 for 3 from the field as Kobe Bryant missed that field goal. Vlade from the outside again. Hit one from there a moment ago, and Derek Fisher cleans the glass. O'Neal down low.
Shaq just keeps running once Vlade pulls the trigger on the jumper.
O'Neal, self-described as in the low 80s in terms of the percent of his health after the September 11th toe surgery, gets the first Laker points of the night.
Was that outside the paint?
I think 1 foot was in. I think 1 foot may have been in.
97% of Shaq's shots this year of his made baskets have been inside the painted area.
305 of his 315, including that one. A little hand check by Turkoglu, and that's 2. They cannot afford foul trouble on Heater. And there you see the numbers for O'Neal in the paint. And, well, we're going to call that one outside the paint officially for that field goal.
Vlade Divac as a defender, he'll live with this shot all night long.
Yeah, I think the toe might have been right there. It was pretty close. Yeah, if you can keep, and Heater Turkoglu right there going out with a couple fouls, if you can keep him outside the paint and make him shoot those shots without letting him get the 4 or 5 dunks and 3 or 4 layups, I think you've done your job, whether he goes 9 for 10 or 2 for 10.
Jimmy Jackson in the game, replacing Turkoglu on the bench with 2. Bryant let Christie commit defensively, couldn't complete the circus shot. Kobe goes to grab his right knee, which has bothered him. Running to the line, Stojakovic to Bibby.
Sacramento role players are rebounding tremendously in the early going.
Bibby on the take over Horry. Horry had the arm extended, a circus shot by Bibby. Kings by 4.
And it all starts with the pressure they put on you after the defensive rebound. They come down, they try to get you out of position, they keep cutting, they keep passing, and sooner or later, they get somebody on a person who shouldn't be on them. Easy layup.
O'Neal gallops across the lane and gets his second field goal.
A huge shot for Mike Bibby, that last one over Robert Horry. Bibby has not been playing well.
6 of 16 in the win at Seattle last night. And struggling here tonight, 1 for 3 from the field. Kobe Bryant, second to Tracy McGrady, 27.5 a game. Fox strokes the 3. Shaq the rebound, all O'Neal offensively. No call, which O'Neal wanted. Here come the Kings. Purple shirts back, but nobody stopped the ball. Christie couldn't finish.
That's got to be a traveling violation.
O'Neal this time picks up the personal on Vlade.
And we talk about they get in the open court. When you get in the open court, you find matchups like this. Bibby on Horry, take the drive, shoots it, and let's go ahead and see what Bibby thought about the balls.
This one? I don't have to shoot it. That's why I give it to you. Here. That was the one I had. You want me to take some air out of it?
Pre-game, checking out the ball with Joey Crawford.
I find that unusual because the responsibility is on the visiting team to pick the ball.
Are they that different?
Absolutely.
Oh, no, they're not.
The only time that I can remember...
PSI fluctuate by 5 or 10?
The only time it was not that way was that they always used to let Bill Bradley pick the ball no matter what team was playing.
They knew he would be the politician. Shaq has all 6 of the Laker points, and this is a defensive 3 seconds call on Phil Jackson's team, so Sacramento will shoot a free throw.
What a horrendous call in a game of this magnitude and of this skill level.
Wasn't really that bad. I mean,
why? Everybody's out there playing.
Well, a rule's a rule. If you're in the lane, you shouldn't be. You gotta call it, don't you? You think?
Had such
Why have the rule book?
Well, that's another argument.
Asia 10th best treat.
They should not have that rule in the book.
No, I agree. I agree with you. You're going to be able to play zone, play any kind of zone you want to.
Vlade goes under Shaq's arm.
Oh, man. I tell you what, that's one thing about a lot of the European players that come over. They have those real clever, crafty type moves. When they go, they're like, whoa, how'd you do that? When they don't, they look really bad. Look out.
In all O'Neal for the Lakers, Shaq has 3 field goals, 2 free throws, and all 8 of LA's points. First Laker lead.
Shaq is moving beautifully. Key for Sacramento, Vlade cannot get in foul trouble early. Weber's not here. Pollard's not here. Keon Clark will have a major role tonight.
You watch right here. Here's what he loves the up and under the arm. They look great when they go, but that one Not quite there for Vlade. He's got a chance to take him right here if he wants to.
Stojakovic, the running hooker, across the lane. There was no foul on that last bit of contact between Fox and Bibby.
One of the problems that the Kings are going to have right now, Christie's not having a good offensive game. When he starts hot with the ball on the offensive end, the Kings are literally unstoppable.
Kobe looking for his first 2 of the night. A little hard off the window from that close. Lakers 3 of 10 shooting. The Kings just 2 of 9. So a slow offensive start for both teams.
And I think one of the reasons you got to love him, the quick trigger right there, you got to be up in his face. But the Kings pressure you every single time down the court. They don't always take the fast break, but they're going to make you get back, because if you don't get back, they will capitalize.
Fox tries to respond to the Stojakovic 3. Vlade comes away with the rebound.
Rick Fox is normally expert at guarding Stojakovic.
Oh, bad pass by Pesa.
It's like Fred Brown, James Worthy.
82 NCAA championship game in the Superdome in New Orleans. Derek Fisher ties the game at 10.
Sorry for bringing that up, Fred, if you're listening somewhere.
In the debacle that was the Lakers last week, it was Derek Fisher who was the one bright light. Turnovers galore for Sacramento.
Vlade tried to take it right at Shaq. Bryant avoids the on-charging Christie and will get some free throws out of this. Now on go. Sloppy start. The 2 teams combined for 7 of 22. Sacramento's 3 field goals and 3 turnovers in the first 6.5 on NBA Friday from the West Wing.
ESPN's Thursday Night Hockey. It is a rivalry born in bitterness, where every emotion is raw, every nerve on edge.
Welcome to the NHL.
From last-second heroics to thrilling moments of exultation, where champions are crowned. Hockey's Western powers take the ice. The Colorado Avalanche, the Detroit Red Wings. 8 p.m. Eastern, Thursday on ESPN.
Will it catch the competition by surprise? Will it become the car by which all others are judged? Will lightning strike again? The all-new Accord from Honda.
Alt t-shirt, $18. Spider-Man watch, $20. Men in Black sunglasses, $16. Hearing your dad scream like your little sister, priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard, the official thrills and chills card of Universal Orlando.
Miss Lewis.
It is Miss, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Could you tell me again how you use 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls?
Well, I just dialed down the center.
With what, Miss Lewis? With what?
You dial down the center at 1-800-CALLATT. It's free for you, cheap for them.
So good.
You sure this guy's a cop?
Save on every call. Dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
ESPN's presentation of NBA Friday, brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Call 1-800-RENT-A-CAR. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Back in the state capital of California, Lakers and Sacramento all square at 10. Shaquille O'Neal, 8 of the Lakers' 10 points. Of course, he is center in the whole situation between the Kings and Lakers over the last few years. There he is taking it to Vlade early on. He has verbally brought it to the Kings throughout this past offseason.
I'm shaking. We're not worried about the Sacramento Queens. I'm so terrified. In Sacramento, there's enough tissues for everyone. Write it down, take a picture, send it to them. I don't care. But they're a great WNBA team. I'm scared.
And Shaquille's other quotes talking about this and that, in his mind being the capital of California, and then the comments after Doug Christie's wife was involved in the situation when Christie and Fox both got thrown out of the preseason game, and that carried on up into the tunnel. It's certainly been Shaq stirring the drink, but very quiet leading up to this game. I think Shaq's actually, guys, been quiet about what he said in the media and more careful after the whole Yao Ming situation that we last met over a couple of weeks ago.
Well, what he said about Doug Christie's wife's toe was, I mean, that was just wrong. It was funny.
Well, why is that wrong?
You don't want to make fun of another man's wife massaging your toe, do you?
Not making fun of her. She has injected herself, as Glenn Rice's wife has injected herself, into the whole arena.
You know what?
So that they're fair game.
I agree with you.
We might have to walk out of the building. You guys agree?
I was being sarcastic.
Kobe made 1 of 2. Stojakovic, who had a tough shooting night last night, 2 of 10 from behind the arc, has hit a 3-pointer and then a 2 in the last couple of minutes, and he has 8 of the Kings' dozen.
Most importantly, last night in their rout at Seattle, 14 rebounds. As Peja Stojakovic gets 14 rebounds, you know the planets are aligned.
Horry on Jim Jackson. 6 to shoot for L.A. Bryant will go right over Christie and knock down his first field goal of the night.
Well, Kobe's one of those guys that if he misses his first couple of threes, he'll leave it alone for the rest of the night. But if he gets it going early, tries to get the feeling going, he might jack up 3, 4, 5 3-pointers throughout the course of the game. Take that shot.
Divac misses it. See Seattle when Kobe didn't hit a 3 until the second quarter, started feeling it, and then hit an NBA record in a game 12, but he turned over that one trying to get it to Shaq.
And these are the toughest ones to hit, too. I mean, this is not off penetration. This is just standing still for a couple seconds, rising up over somebody. Generally not a very good shot.
Vlade's ice cold and Shaq's in transition.
Vlade's 1 of 6.
Oh, you got to give Shaq the ball when he flashes like that after pounding up and down so hard.
Fisher tries to go at Bibby. Michael turns him away. Tough catch for Shaq, starting from where he is not as comfortable, but a nice dish to the cutting Fisher.
A great cut, but you lose contact. You got to drop back deep enough to see the ball and your man cutting and then body him.
Bibby is not playing well. Vlade is not playing well. Christie's not scoring. This is not a good sign for Sacramento.
Coming off the game last night against Seattle while the Lakers were here in Sacramento resting, Bryant takes it to the lane. The Lakers now have come on with their last few field goals, leading by a half dozen.
You can't let somebody drive from the wing, get right into the soft underbelly of your defense with nobody getting out to defend the shot.
But they might want to go big and bring Keon Clark in and play the Chris Webber role.
Jackson's first shot misfired. Vlade gets the board. Page is the only one who's hot for Sacramento, and even he misses.
Nobody under there for offensive rebounding. I think you bring in Keon Clark, you get some offensive rebounding, you get some defense. Because right now, they're not getting any offensive rebounds, no second shots.
Christie was leaving before the ball was there, and it is last touched by the Kings.
Nice pop out by Vlade Divac that time, learning from last year's Game 4. Don't pop it out toward the front, pop it toward the corner where maybe one of your guys might read that.
Referring to the Robert Horry game-winning straight-on 3 at Staples. Squared the series. Just as the Kings looked like they were going to take a 3-1 lead in the Western Finals. Divac blocks Bryant, and we will step out. Kobe just 2 of 7. But Sacramento's the team struggling. 4 of 16 from the field for the second-best team in field goal percentage in the NBA. Lakers by 6 inside of 3.
Because you hesitate, you think we're flying, but we levitate. Just be yourself, don't ask us why. 'Cause if you don't, we'll make you fly. Can't be me, I'm a rock star. I'm running on the top, I'm a
Winter X Game 7 continues Saturday at 2:30 on ABC and all week on ESPN and ESPN2.
Hi.
I got you something special.
Does it come in a box?
Uh-huh.
Is it brown?
Yeah.
Is it gold?
Uh-huh.
Is it gold to me?
Close your eyes.
New stuffed crust gold pizza from Pizza Hut. We married a ring of cheese baked inside the crust with golden cheddar on top for a toasted crunch. Stuffed crust pizza for $9.99 or go for the gold for $1 more. New at Pizza Hut.
Can I open my eyes yet?
No, not yet.
We get explorers coming through here all day long.
No doubt. They keep coming in, leaving, coming in.
Non-stop.
Yeah, check this out.
I can dig it.
The 2003 Ford Explorer.
That third row seat folding down, you get in there, plenty of room.
After you buff it, it's like butter.
It's been the best-selling SUV for 11 years.
I got a feeling we're going to be washing a lot more, man.
And break time is over, fellas.
The 2003 Ford Explorer. Popularity has no boundaries.
Are you a real fan? Want to see the replay? Want to be courtside? Have you ever been in the locker room? Need a photo? Need a score? When is game time? Did you catch that? Looking for some stuff? Then log on to NBA.com and check out all your favorite NBA apparel. To shop, log on to NBA.com or America Online keyword NBA.com. What are you doing? Experience the NBA online. NBA.com.
Time for Wendy's update. We check in on the T-Wolves visiting the Rockets and Yao Ming finally getting his groove back, Greg Anthony.
I tell you what, he played extremely well, and it's nice to see the Rockets focusing in on getting him the basketball, exploiting his offensive abilities.
Yao Ming, 8 of 12 from the floor. He was 8 of 9 from the free throw line. He had 24 and 13, his most points since of the 29th versus Indiana on December the 18th.
Well, Kevin, that's the team the Lakers are chasing. Houston's 8th in the Western Conference here in Sacramento. Celeb Row. We have, well, look, an NBA game is the only place you'd see Barry Bonds and Penny Marshall sitting next to each other, right? Loving it live in the front row between the Maloof brothers, Joe and Gavin, the owners of the Sacramento Kings. There is Penny, great NBA fan. And they are not seeing Chris Webber in action. Webber injuring the ankle earlier this week in the game against Utah. And will be out. Some estimates 3 weeks, the high end a month. In any case, the Kings will have to go it without Chris through some of the most important days of the year on through February. O'Neal, who's getting back to health, has given the Lakers an 8-point lead.
Shaq is killing them down inside. Chris Webber unable to participate.
Here is Kobe chased by Christie. Kobe Bryant is attacking the rim. Did you see the game against Phoenix on Wednesday? He attacked the rim all the time at America West on Wednesday. And without Webber, they're down 10.
Lakers kind of look like the Lakers, don't they?
But the crowd is stunned right now. Offensive futility for the Kings. 19 possessions, 4 turnovers, 25% shooting. 13 of the possessions have come up absolutely with nothing.
Foul is on Rick Fox. That's his second. Watch Kobe cleared for takeoff.
You used to do that, didn't you, Bill?
I like to start the fast breaks better than finishing the
Yes,
fast
you
breaks.
did. Stuart Scott able to take off with a little bit of oomph despite some pain on that knee.
Yeah, Mike, I talked to Kobe today after shoot-around. He was icing his knee. He said it was just maintenance, though. He said his tendonitis was hurting him last week, but the couple of days off really helped. And as you mentioned, that 40-point outburst he had against Phoenix, his 7th 40-point game of the year, his knees are doing fine. That last dunk, another example of knees being A-OK, Mike. Back to you.
The 740-plus, the best in the NBA behind Tracy McGrady. So the Kings had another turnover. That's 5, and Christie still unable to get Sacramento going offensively. Lakers are playing good defense as well here, guys.
The Lakers are the best defensive team in the league.
But, Bill, they're last in three-point field goal defense, 17th in overall field goal defense thus far.
The Lakers' defense is measured over a 3.5-year period, not over a 2-month period.
So you say they are still the best defensive team. Christie hits the 3.
Well, I tell you what's missing right now when you look at Sacramento Kings, aside from Bobby Jackson and Chris Webber, is this team is the best passing team in the league. A lot of one-on-one right now. Not a lot of crisp passing, not a lot of movement on the offensive end. The Lakers are just playing fantastic defense, and they're getting the ball to Shaq and working off him on the offensive end.
As Bobby Jackson in the retro Joe Namath jersey watches.
In a Rams jersey. I mean, what about Eric Dickerson in a Colt jersey? At least have the Jets
Are you
jersey.
sure that's not a San Diego Charger?
No, it's not the powder blue. It's the Rams blue.
How about a UCLA jersey? Oh, Gary Bevan?
Not right now. One more coming for O'Neal. The Lakers lead by 10. Gerald Wallace is checked in for Sacramento. Log on to NBA.com. Read all about next week's All-Star game in Atlanta. In the exclusive All-Star section, it's on NBA.com. And now when the All-Star break starts next Friday, Bill and Tom and everybody else from ESPN's NBA family will be in Atlanta for an All-Star Friday night special. Hope you tune in for that. Keon Clark off the bench. Gets it back into a single-digit deficit.
Lakers' identity, their style, pound it inside, get up and down the floor, play the terrific defense. And when all breaks down, give it to Kobe Bryant and clear the side. I don't want to hear about a sore leg.
Bryant
like
and O'Neal have 24 of the Lakers' 28 here in the opening quarter. They clear for Bibby. Continuing to struggle, 1 of 5 from the field. So Bibby and Divac both 1 of 5 in this opening quarter.
The great thing for the Lakers' point of view is that they've taken this crowd, the best and most raucous in the league, completely out. The fans are sitting stunned, unhappy, and very frustrated.
Well, you can't double team that early.
Keon Clark on the defense. Shaq can't hit it. Plenty of time for Gerald Wallace. He's a little out of control, but got lucky. Life is good sometimes. Kobe, good if it goes.
How great can you be if they don't call steps?
Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq with 14, Bryant with 10. It's the way it is for the Lakers. They only have 3 players who've scored. Kobe, 4 of 10 from the field for his 10 points. Shaq has 14. The Kings only had 2 assists in that first quarter, and they trail by 9.
Anywhere Southwest flies.
Bring home the #1 selling DVD and video of the year.
There's a monster outside my room. Can I have a glass of water?
Mel Gibson.
Don't be afraid.
M. Night Shyamalan's Signs. Only today on video and Vista Series DVD.
Why do you guys have interstate highways in Hawaii?
What do you mean?
Well, interstate means connecting 2 or more states.
I don't know. I think they're planning on building a bridge or a tunnel. Eventually.
When you drive a car you never have to think about, what will you think about? The Civic from Honda.
Avaya. What is it? First, what it's not. A Caribbean island? Welcome to Avaya.
Yeah! Avaya! Everybody say Avaya!
Avaya. Avaya is a state of pure communications perfection. Here you find IP telephony for about the price of a standard PBX upgrade. And the biggest, most experienced communication services team, hands down. Oh, still not sure what Avaya is? Ask over 90% of Fortune 500 companies. Go on. They know. Reach Avaya, a higher plane of communication.
Philadelphia Eagle Donovan McNabb and his mom brought Jim Gilbert Campbell's Chunky Sirloin Burger with loads of hearty sirloin burgers to fill him up right. He didn't leave a scrap.
Well, what do you want to read today?
Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss?
He's my favorite.
Well, I have a surprise for you.
What is it?
You'll have to wait and see.
I believe the light that shines on you will shine on you forever.
Once upon a time, there was a tiny little man.
Oh, wonderful choice. Come here, Pooch. Come here.
A cow says,
I'm gonna watch you shine, gonna watch you grow, gonna paint a sign so you'll always know, as long as 1 and 1 is 2. There could never be a father love his daughter more than I love you.
One of the greatest things we can do for our children is to help them develop a lifelong love of reading. Read to achieve.
Back in Sacramento, Mike Tirico, Bill Walton, Tom Tolbert, Stuart Scott with us. As Sal Masekela hosts the Winter X Games in Aspen. Lakers leading Sacramento by 9. Mike Bibby on the bench for the start of the second quarter. And you see he has those ever-present nail clippers handy. Working on the cuticle. There, one went right there. That's a superstition, actually. It started in Vancouver for Mike Bibby, and he keeps it going. Barry Bonds sitting front row here. What happens when a big guy gets great seats?
You can't get better seats than this. Oh, I know. Actually, in the new arena, we could get more seats. That's the pitch people. So they can be in the stands.
Yeah, I'm sure he paid for those things, too.
You think? Keon Clark with the hoop there. You think Penny Marshall also?
Nope. Absolutely not.
Of the Maloofs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I'm stunned that Mike Bibby is cutting his fingernails during the game. Why? Someone who relies so much on touch, like a great pianist, that should be done the day before the game.
It's superstition, and it's working mostly on the cuticles. Devin George's hoop waved off an offensive foul call. It's not really nail work, it's more cuticles. It's become purely superstition for Mike. He was telling me before the game, and I saw it last night during the game, and I had to ask him about it because rarely in the middle of a sporting event do you see a man giving himself a manicure.
Well, we figured he started up in Vancouver because he was so bored during the game. He'd go ahead and just take care of himself.
I don't know if you'd want to carry over any superstitions from Vancouver.
Asia missed it too. A beautiful city. I don't know if you've ever been to Stanley Park.
I've
you
been
have
there
been,
many
right?
times.
Yes. Wallace inside. Gets it back. Gerald Wallace out of Alabama. Second-year player, played 9 minutes and didn't score last night.
And the Kings have to take advantage right now with Shaq on the bench.
Full bench substitution, save for number 8. Samaki Walker, Kareem Rush, Devin George, and Brian Shaw in the game for LA. And George, whose ankles are healthier, thus production is improving, gives the Lakers a 7-point lead.
He's always a big key for me. Devin George, when he plays well, not just scoring, defensively, rebounding, he certainly helps the Lakers.
And this athletic matchup between Gerald Wallace and Devin George will be something to keep an eye on.
Out of bounds off the Lakers. Kareem Rush, by the way, is back in the lineup after not playing the game in Phoenix, an old hamstring twinge. Told me pregame he was ready to go. Peja will shoot some free throws.
If I'm the Lakers, I'm not going to let him get off the shot. If they set a screen for him, I might rotate somebody over or double him. But you look who else is out there. Damon Jones, Wallace, Jimmy Jackson, Keon Clark. I'm not going to let Peja Stojakovic score 8 or 10 points while Mike Bibby's sitting on the bench and Vlade Divac sitting on the bench.
Take the ball out of his hands. Put it in Gerald Wallace's hands. That's one of the reasons why Gerald Wallace gets such limited time for Sacramento. He's the only guy on this team who really doesn't have a very nice stroke.
Did you guys see Hedo Turkoglu biting his nails, maybe?
Yeah, I'd rather have the Clippers myself.
Look at Christie. We've got...
at least Mike Bibby. I mean, the hygiene is sound. I mean, that right there with fingers in the mouth. It's like a salon over there.
We've got manicure issues on the Kings bench. Devin George with 2 fouls is met by Keon Clark, but got it back and threw it back.
Oh, but he stood around and watched. Hey, great block. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I should go get that.
Keon runs the floor. Hold on. Foul call on Samaki Walker. Whoa. Keon was ready to get one back.
As Keon Clark will block a shot, the rest of the Kings are standing around. Nobody picking up on that. You have a tremendous shot blocker. You have to anticipate it's coming back. Kings are not helping themselves at all.
Clark,
leading candidate for 6th man of the year.
Keon bring
Clark.
that up, Bill.
And look at right here. Is sliding down the back. When he goes up in the air, it looks like he's in like a frog in a blender. Arms and legs are just going everywhere. He's got long arms, long legs.
A frog in a blender.
Never seen that?
No, has it?
Come on, biology class, high school? I don't know if that was school sanctioned, but it was fun.
I thought that was the bar you were at last night.
George inside finds Walker.
Or maybe pregame.
Oh, come on. Saw the bank on that. It's not pop a shot. I mean, it's bad enough when you shoot a jump shot and you bank it in, let alone a jump hook and you bank it in from straight away.
Samaki slowed by injuries to start the season. Jones to Jackson.
The Laker closeout defense has been awesome.
Like the last year Lakers, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Whoa. Will be surrounded, lost everybody.
That's got to be traveling.
Are you on a traveling
kick? You realize they don't call it traveling?
You guys are very hot for traveling calls
a little
tonight.
bit. You're stickler for traveling, aren't you?
But that's why you play defense, is to force the guy into using bad footwork.
Well, let's see. Let's say if he travels. Kobe, it's a great pass right there. A little bit.
Well,
I mean, what do you want to lower the scores more? We call it traveling. We might have 71 to 70 games.
The players will adjust.
one more for Walker. Remember, he was injured start of the season, and there was a conversation, as Kobe Bryant pointed out, that there needs to be a difference between playing through injury and playing through pain.
Yeah.
And that was one of the bumps in the road as O'Neal was coming back from health. The Lakers had to deal with in the locker room.
Back to the traveling point, Tom. The best players, they don't take steps. They have the best footwork.
Gerald Wallace to dunk there. Adelman's team with an 8. Leading contributions from Wallace and Damon Jones and Jimmy Jackson. Remember, Sacramento without 3 of the top 8 in their rotation. Bryant on the take.
Whoa.
Circus layup by Kobe. He's doing one of those per night as well the last couple of weeks.
That's not humanly possible right there.
But the Kings should be doing the same thing defensively.
Damon Jones knocks down the 3.
As what we suggested that the Lakers would do against Stojakovic. Take the ball out of Kobe's hand. Don't let him drive away from the double team.
Jim Jackson defense. Kobe will shoot some free throws after a timeout.
Well, a lot of times you can go to the park if you're doing like you're a basketball hack out there. You go shoot around and go, you know what? I can make a 17-foot jump shot. I can make a 50. But let me show you something you can't do at the park. That is going up against NBA-level players and making them look like they were playing at the park. That is absolutely unreal.
We get explorers coming through here all day long.
No doubt. They keep coming in, leaving, coming in.
Non-stop.
Yeah, check this out.
I can dig it.
The 2003 Ford Explorer.
That third row seat folding down, you get in there, plenty of room.
After you buff it, it's like butter.
It's been the best-selling SUV for 11 years.
I got a feeling we're going to be washing a lot more, man.
And break time is over, fellas.
The 2003 Ford Explorer. Popularity has no boundaries.
Back in Oakland, the older players would pick on me. They wouldn't let me shoot. All I could do was pass. Look where that got me.
Sunday morning, I woke up.
7 national championships, 41 SEC titles, the most wins in college basketball history. Celebrate 100 years of Kentucky basketball on ESPN Classic. From miracle comebacks to national titles. It's a whole day of the greatest games in Wildcat history. And ESPN Classic Tribute 100 Years of Kentucky Basketball starts 10 a.m. Sunday only on ESPN Classic. Get ESPN Classic. Call your cable or satellite provider now.
Spend less time getting there and more time being there. The islands of the Bahamas. Save up to $150 on your Bahamas getaway and ask about our small treasures properties. Call Destination Bahamas at 800-BAHAMAS.
When you have credit card problems, it feels like you're surrounded by debt.
That's the time to call Debt Dynamics. I reduce my payments and have only one small monthly bill.
Debt Dynamics professional staff will analyze your situation and show you the best solution with nonprofit credit counseling or a home equity loan. Just call. I thought my only way out was bankruptcy. Call Debt Dynamics for the right solution.
We reduced our interest rate.
So now we can actually see our balances dropping.
Call Debt Dynamics today and free yourself from debt. Call this number now.
Kevin Frazier, Greg Anthony back in the studio. The Bulls and the Blazers, and Bonzi Wells gives it to Scottie Pippen, pips up, throws down. Bonzi then to the Steve Ross, who's returned from his 7-game suspension. And Eddie Robinson, how about this, Greg Anthony?
Oh, that's a nice facial. Real nice.
Ruben Patterson, easy money, too.
Another nice dunk. Is this dunk fest tonight?
Well, I'll tell you what. The Blazers shooting 50% from the floor. Meanwhile, Suns and Clippers early. Clipjoy with the early lead, and the Jazz do it to the Warriors again. Karl Malone, old but tasty, 26-12. Mike?
Yeah, Utah team that Sacramento lost to here by 10 when Chris Webber was hurt earlier this week. Stuart Scott, more on Chris Webber.
Mike, I talked to Chris over there sitting in a real nice casual suit. He said he's just frustrated watching again. He said he's not worried about his guys, but he wants to be out here. And I said, what's your thought sitting over here watching this game on this stage in this arena? He paused, he looked at me, and he smiled. He said, my thought is I want a ring. Watching this game makes me want a ring. They got the last 3. I want one. Mike, let's go back to you.
Well, without Webber last year, Stu, they were 15-5, but they take out of the lineup an all-star selection. Only Kevin Garnett and Webber averaging 20 points, 10 boards, and 5 assists per game.
Chris Webber has been here 5 seasons. He's missed 61 games. Now, in those games that the Kings have played without Chris Webber, their winning percentage is 64%. Games played with Chris Webber, winning percentage 64%.
That's surprising. I was surprised to see that.
Well, injuries don't seem to affect this team other than tonight. This is the first time really all season.
Keon Clark going the full offensive repertoire and stuck with it for the hoop. Devin George came over for good defensive help, but Clark stuck with it to make it a 7-point game.
Well, let's not forget, too, they're missing a guy who was averaging 20 points and shooting nearly 50% from the field in Mike Bibby's absence and Bobby Jackson. If you take away 2 key components of any other team in the NBA, I don't know how many games they win, but I'm sure their winning percentage would be a lot less than Kane.
Turkoglu to Wallace, the high riser. And that brings Shaq right off the bench, and O'Neal's going to come back in. Funderburk and Bobby Jackson on the bench like it. Lawrence Funderburk, Scott Pollard also out. Bryant a response. Can't get it to go down. That's off Samaki Walker in the hands of Jim Jackson. Wallace runs the floor again. Damon Jones takes it. Big battle under the board. That is on L.A. Good hustle by Gerald Wallace. His energy has energized the Kings.
Gerald Wallace has turned this game around. The bench contribution from Wallace, who has 8 points. Keon Clark has 7. The crowd is back in it. The momentum, while Shaq was on the bench, stayed with Los Angeles until Wallace came in, and now it's all Sacramento.
Jackson on Brian Shaw to double-digit year in the NBA veterans, and Jimmy got the best of Brian there.
It's like watching a Legends game or something there.
I would put Gerald Wallace on Kobe Bryant right now instead of Jim Jackson. Kobe is just blasting by Jimmy Jackson. Granted, he's a very solid defensive player and had a big impact in the win at Seattle last night with the stoppage of play, but the blood on Kobe Bryant.
So Gary Vitti, one of the longtime trainers in the NBA, will look after Kobe for the moment, try to get the blood stopped so he does not have to come out.
Gary Vitti can't get you better.
The King fans very concerned.
You might as well just go straight to the morgue.
Gary, a 19-year NBA veteran on the bench, athletic trainer. So Kobe will come out as they try to stop the bleeding, and Derek Fisher comes back in along with O'Neal.
The bleeding right now has to be stopped from the Lakers as they've allowed everything to turn around quickly. Reestablish order by coming to the big man.
Kareem rushed the rookie, goes baseline, out to Shaw, a triple. Brian Shaw, 36% three-point shooter, about half his attempts are 3.
Damon Jones getting big minutes as Bibby was totally unproductive.
Keon Clark, nice look for Wallace. Shaq's back in the game. Excuse me, in case you didn't know. Shaw feeling it, writing it down. 5 straight points for Shaw, and the Lakers quickly back up 8.
Seldom used over the last couple weeks, but always there for Phil Jackson in these desperate situations.
Jackson on Shaw, 11 years in the league on 14 years in the league. Shaw got the better of it that time. He runs to the corner.
Well, look at Shaq getting them down the court. Right in the middle, they're going to find him. He was there, too.
Shaw's over here on the left side waiting for the defense to float away. Smelling a take there. Brought Turkoglu in the lane. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. Shaw changing directions.
Keon Clark everywhere, including getting pork chopped in the face in transition defense as Shaq got away with an offensive foul.
Turkoglu tried to take Shaw for 2.
Well, that's a great matchup for them. He's just so much bigger than Brian Shaw. He'll have a hard time stopping him on the penetration. But the Kings still not looking like themselves, getting the rebound, standing around, not getting out on the break like they usually do.
Despite their struggles, they are within 6 at the 5-minute mark. O'Neal sees the double to Shaw. That time Wallace got out in his face. Turkoglu to the board. He can be such an X-factor.
Keon Clark tipping the ball.
Jones missed the 3. Wallace the putback. Well, they called him the governor during his days in Tuscaloosa. And in the state capitol, he's brought the Kings back within 4. Shaq sweet pass to Shaw. O'Neal, who doesn't get much credit for it, but averages 3 assists per game.
As good a passing big man as there is in the league. The only other guys in his class, Vlade and Karl Malone.
Vlade is 3.7 assists per game. Shaq 3.2. But you never hear Shaq talked about as a good passing big man. So O'Neal and Turkoglu with some good offense in those last couple of minutes. Turkoglu on the take of the veteran Brian Shaw, who was heating up on the offensive end. Well, you talk about all the angst between these two teams. Hedo Turkoglu and Shaquille O'Neal, a little pre-game greeting. Behind closed doors, it's not that bad between some of the Lakers and some of the Kings. LA by 6. Timeout, Sacktown.
There's a Wendy's Classic Hamburger that's perfect for you. Made fresh right off the grill, so it's always hot and juicy. The Classic Hamburgers at Wendy's. It's better here.
Now on DVD, a man without a past.
I don't know who I am!
Trapped in the present.
Why are you trying to kill me?
And running for his life.
I want Bourne in a body bag by sundown.
Do it now!
It's not gonna happen. The Bourne Identity. Buy the #1 action DVD today.
AC on. CD play, disc 4. Find nearest Chinese restaurant.
The voice-activated navigation system responds to 180 commands.
Order Mushu pork.
That's not one of them. The all-new 240 horsepower Accord from Honda. There are over 100,000 firms that prepare taxes. How do you choose the right one? Look for a guarantee. With H&R Block's Satisfaction Guarantee, you don't pay until you're completely satisfied. It's one tax advantage we should all enjoy.
I win again. You lose. I win. Oh no, my batteries are dying.
Presenting our longest-lasting Energizer Max ever. Energizer Max. Do you have the bunny inside?
ESPN's presentation of NBA Friday, brought to you by Ford Focus. Focus. Great looking, great driving. Put one on a road near you.
Largest Laker lead a dozen. They lead by a half dozen with 4.5 to go in the first half with Stuart Scott, Tom Tolbert, Bill Walton, Mike Tirico. If I tell you that Chris Webber's not here, Bobby Jackson's not here, 2 key offensive cogs, and Vlade Divac and Mike Bibby have combined for 2 of 10, you'd think Sacramento would be down by more, but the bench is showing up in the second quarter.
Rick Adelman quickly realizing that and going to some guys who were shooting the ball and giving you tremendous athleticism in the open court. Gerald Wallace gets away with a beautiful reverse pivot there, and Keon Clark slashing from that weak side. Damon Jones has been solid from the perimeter as well. The offensive glass has been another area where these reserves have come in. They've got 12 second chance points, Sacramento, as the second-year player out of Alabama finally getting some playing time with the injuries to Chris Webber. Gerald Wallace would play in the rookie challenge game if he got more time.
Turkoglu on the miss. Keon Clark the putback makes it a 4-point game. So Clark has 9 to go and Wallace has 10. It's 19 to the Kings, 43 here in Arco. from players who don't see a lot of time or do a lot offensively in a normal situation.
Kobe Bryant quickly back in after just a couple minutes. Phil Jackson sensing a surge by Sacramento.
Well, Bryant rarely off the floor for Phil. 4th in the league in minutes at 42 per game. 6-point Laker lead.
What if the Lakers don't win this game? What kind of psychological burden is that going to put on them?
None. Days of the miss. Wallace tried the lefty put back. O'Neal fouls him.
You really think if the Lakers lose this game, it'll damage them mentally?
Against the Kings, who are missing their 2 most important players this season, Chris Webber, who is arguably the MVP of the season at the halfway point, Bobby Jackson, who was the MVP until he broke his hand on Christmas Day on a play when he didn't even get called for a foul.
O'Neal hit him in the 4th quarter. What I find amazing is that the Kings guys are 19 games over 500 atop the Pacific, and they have not had their core of 8 or 9 guys together healthy at all this year. For 4 games, they had Bibby, Jackson, and Webber together, but Bibby was just getting back, and then Jackson got hurt on Christmas night.
Well, Lowell, you're seeing why. You're seeing Keon Clark coming in and doing a job. I mean, Turkoglu with 22 points last night. He wasn't playing. Wallace doing a great job tonight. He wasn't playing. So they got guys that can step up, and that's why they're able to keep this train rolling.
I'd love to see a stat that could measure how quickly they go from the ground to their maximum height on a jump shot, because Kobe gets up so quick. Turkoglu, that one came out awkwardly because he was fouled.
And that ability to elevate quickly separates guys like Kobe Bryant, like Tracy McGrady, like Allen Iverson, Ray Allen, Michael Jordan, Paul Pierce. If you've got a slow leap and a slow delivery, you've got no chance in this league.
Well, that's what it's all about. It's all about separation and how you get that separation. Some guys use quickness, some guys use power, and some guys that are the most gifted athletes, like Kobe, have a combination of both that makes them special.
Doug Christie in for Gerald Wallace. Great hand for Wallace. Ten points in 10 minutes for Wallace, who had 21 in a game earlier this year against Houston.
Bibby and Christie have got to do something here in these last 3 minutes, or it's going to be bleak in that locker room for Sacramento.
Well, it's nice to have the help from the subs, but sooner or later, your stars would have to show up, especially when you're already missing a couple of them.
Keon Clark doing a job on the defensive end. Turkoglu lost control. Kobe almost took it away. It ends up in Christie's hands. Bibby's waiting. He's got it. He's stroking 3. Laker timeout. Kings within 3. And they love it at Arco. Sacramento climbs back in it. Mike Bibby's been struggling from the field. 6 of 16 last night. 1 of 5 tonight until he rips cord on a 3. And the man who has a championship ring from Arizona has the Sacramento bench on the floor, on their feet. As Vlade comes on the floor to greet his guys. Sure he'll be in the next minute or so. As his team is back within 3 on NBA Friday.
For those who love to bash, gash, smash, and crash, there is Rygar. Unleash your devastating disc armor for a Greco-Roman reality break. Rygar, the joy of destruction. Rated D for Teen. Tecmo, 100% games.
Marriage can be heaven. I love you. Sister-in-laws can be hell.
Well, don't mind us. We're just having sex.
So I should just come back in, what, 2 minutes?
And some players
He might be the man to rid us of evil.
If I can get that woman, I'll go down and play a Hall of Fame.
think they can work miracles.
What's the accident rates on these things?
That's why I dropped this.
From the writer-director of The Brothers, LL Cool J, Gabrielle Union, Delibera from Eva.
I think I might love her.
Forgot the rules. Players don't feel. I'm like a pimp with a health plan.
Rated R. Starts February 7th.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing? You want to grab some dinner?
Oh, it's you.
You don't call for ages, and I'm just supposed to say, hi, great, dinner, fine.
Yeah, but
That's nothing. Did you hibernate or something?
Whoa.
Hey, you're around.
Yeah.
Look up, see blue. Labatt Blue.
You must be so hungry.
Oh, yeah.
Are you in on it? Go to the new cheaptickets.com with new fare search technology and lower prices than ever. Or call now for new travel deals on hotels, cars, condos, and vacation packages. Now, there's one travel site that charges no online booking fees. Save $5 to $10 per person. Cheap Tickets, the best kept secret in travel.
Lots to get to on the 1-800-CALL-ATT halftime report. Greg Anthony has a lot of good things to say. We'll talk about the games in the West, including the Blazers. Rasheed Wallace is back. Yao has a big night. And we'll also talk with the Maloof brothers, the Kings owners. Join us live at halftime. And, you know, it must be good to be that rich because that's why they're so happy. Look at them. The Maloofs chilling with Barry Bonds. They're coming up at the half. Right now, let's go back to Mike Tirico.
Kevin, they had very nice greetings for you. They said, wish you were here. They said they would have charged you the same that they charged Penny and Barry Bonds. Well, the fans in Sacramento have been waiting. This game has no significance to erase what happened last year in Game 7. But they were waiting and waiting and waiting for the Lakers to come back. The Lakers changed hotels. Remember when they were here during the Western Conference Finals? There was the whole food poisoning issue with Kobe Bryant. Actually, in the newspaper, a tongue-in-cheek article said that Kobe may have been out drinking that night. It really got some of the Laker folks upset because Kobe doesn't drink. There's nobody with a cleaner reputation in sports than Kobe Bryant. It was very, very unfair to be published. It had to be taken tongue-in-cheek, and you needed to know that going in, as Fox knocks down a three.
But how do you know that one?
Exactly. You're 100% right. It was the wrong move by the paper. And the Lakers rightly were
embarrassing.
Phil Jackson did a nice job to defuse it pregame. Turkoglu from the outside, missed. That's off Kobe. In any case, or rather, check that, it's off Sacramento. They changed hotels, and Kobe had a laugh with it. He said, I'm looking forward to playing there again. I love Arco Arena. Hey, I heard they hired the chef from the other hotel for our new hotel. He did a good deed for them last year, so I hope they pay well at the new place. Stuart Scott, you want to add to that?
Yeah, you know, it's kind of interesting because in the newspaper article, it said the Lakers have changed hotels to the Sheraton Grand. Now that it's out, well, it's out because it was in the newspaper. That's the whole point of it getting out. Even though Phil did kind of deflate it a little bit, Kobe was very upset because he is one of those guys who does not touch alcohol, never has, says he never will. As a side note, though, the cheesecake at the Sheraton Grand has a graham cracker crust, and the cheesecake at the other hotel had a chocolate crust. So just point of reference there, Mike.
There's an Oreo cookie crust, Stuart. I went over to check it out, do full research, and none the worse for wear.
Finally, the Lakers get back to Shaq. Guy had 14 points in the first quarter. That was his first basket here in the second.
Horry from the outside. He's picked up his first field goal of the night, and the Lakers 58-50.
And with the Lakers not going to Shaq and punishing the Kings, Vlade has 0 fouls and Keon Clark has 1.
Well, Vlade has 0 fouls. He's been on the bench for about a quarter and a half. Because the way Keon Clark's been playing, I'd keep him on the bench too. I mean, that's a good matchup for the Kings. If they can keep Keon Clark in the game and they're not going to Shaq, I'd keep him in the game too because he's affecting more things defensively than Vlade would.
When you have Shaquille O'Neal, the other team should be in foul trouble every game at the 5-minute mark of the first quarter. Their big guy should be sitting on the bench reading the rule book.
This is why they got Keon Clark, to have another defensive presence inside. Bibby made 1 of 2. Clark has played 13 minutes to Vlade's 10. Looks like Keon's going to finish out this first half. Christie fouled Kobe. That's just the first team foul in the last 2 minutes on the Kings. Here's the national TV windows. On ESPN2 on Wednesday, you'll see the Nets take on Allen Iverson and the Sixers, and TNT on Thursday will have these Lakers in New York and the Spurs and Nuggets.
I don't know about you, Bill, but I always enjoy the foul 45 feet away from the bucket. That's always a good one.
Well, they had one to give. Bryant and the Lakers have hit their last 7 shots Sacramento got it to within 3, but LA's back out near 9 in the final minute of the first half. Mike Bibby was undecided in the air, undecided when all was said and done. Let's see, the foul underneath. Bibby and Fisher got tangled up, but Joey Crawford had it underneath on LA.
Last year in the Western Conference Finals, Mike Bibby torched Derek Fisher and Kobe Bryant and whoever else they put on him. Tonight, Derek Fisher has done an outstanding job.
Well, the Lakers offense has just been smoking here in the first half. Shaw's made some buckets. Shaq's been dominant down low. Kobe with the penetration, and when they double on him, it's a kick out to Fox for 3. It's a kick out to Ori for a jumper. I mean, 60 points in the first half against a pretty good defensive ball club. They're playing some tremendous basketball here.
Lakers' best first half scoring was 65 against Cleveland 3 weeks ago tonight.
Well, that doesn't count.
How did Stojakovic get to the line on Bibby's jumper?
Well, they got hit, Bill, and he caught it in play, and then he went up and... Can you stop looking at me and why would...
Page just hit all 7 of his free throws. He's 10th in the league in free throw shooting. 2-second difference between the game and shot clock. A little bit of a zone look. Shard. The 3 is off early. Christie has plenty of time to foul out here at midcourt by Bryant, who just eludes Penny Marshall and Barry Bonds on the way by.
Boy, veterans got to know better than that. You got to manage the clock better. And your priority, number 1 priority, is don't shoot until we get the last shot.
And a
stuff like that can happen.
Technical foul called on Bryant, who had one too many words for Derek Richardson.
If you shoot the last shot of the half, regardless whether you make or miss, this doesn't happen. You don't get attacked. They don't get free throws. You always say, whether I make or miss, they're not getting another shot at the basket.
So there'll be 2 free throws to come since the Lakers were in the penalty. He gets it to 60-54. There it is. Richardson, the foul. Kobe, no word, just a walk by for Derek there. And then it continued as Derek came over to the scorer's table, and Bryant picked up the tee. Doug Christie missed the first of 2 free throws. 81% shooter.
How many points for Doug Christie tonight?
In this first half, he has 3, says the legendary Marty Aronoff, our stat man.
A horrendous sign for Sacramento's hopes.
You think Kobe wants the ball? He's got it.
Nice pass.
Jack. Oh! Counter and a foul.
Phil Jackson has just got a little smirk on his face. Rick Adelman, shades of pale.
You know, they do the hook and ladder in football.
That's it. That was it.
What it reminded me of.
It was, gosh, was it Duriel Harris? Tony Nathan to Duriel Harris in the Chargers-Dolphins playoff game at the Orange Bowl in 80.
Sir.
Sorry, Bill.
Yes, sir.
I have no idea what
I know. I was just going to say that.
The Lakers should not have used that play there. They should have saved that one.
Christie, halftime.
Because now the league will be on it.
Second highest scoring half. 63-55. Kobe continuing the conversation with Derek Richardson as he heads off to the locker room. Shaq, 19 points in 19 minutes, and here's Stuart Scott with Kobe Bryant.
Thanks a lot, Mike. Kobe, 20 points in the first half. You got a late technical foul. Was that your emotion, or you think you just said one thing too many?
The referee's being too sensitive. You can't go up to him and say that was a bad call. You missed that one. The guy gives you a technical foul. But, you know, I should have knew better than that. Shouldn't have said nothing to him at all.
Is that all you said? Bad call?
That's all I said.
You guys are shooting 57% in the first half. Is that a matter of good looks or the shots just falling?
I think it's a combination of both. I mean, we're executing our offense pretty well. We're doing a lot of good looks. We came out, used Shaq early, broke down in middle, and then we're able to get some easy perimeter shots. So, second half, hopefully that can continue.
Anything that doesn't surprise you at all?
I mean, we played this team so many times, nothing pretty much surprises us. We know each other's offense in and out.
All right, Kobe, appreciate it, man. Good luck in the second half. 20 points in the first half for Kobe Bryant. Mike, back to you.
Bryant and O'Neal, as usual, pacing the Lakers. They had 39 Stu, the 1-800-CALL-ATT halftime report with Greg Anthony and Kevin Frazier coming up. They'll have highlights of The exciting night in the NBA with 11 games, including a conversation with the Maloof brothers, the owners of the Kings. 8 of 15 from the field in his 22 minutes. A bloody lip and 20 points for the All-Star game leading vote getter. 1.45 million of you said this man should start the All-Star game. At the break, Lakers by 8.
ESPN's Thursday Night Hockey. It is a rivalry born in bitterness, where every emotion is raw, every nerve on edge.
Welcome to the NHL.
From last-second heroics to thrilling moments of exultation, where champions are crowned. Hockey's Western powers take the ice. The Colorado Avalanche, the Detroit Red Wings. 8 p.m. Eastern, Thursday on ESPN.
Why do you guys have interstate highways in Hawaii?
What do you mean?
Well, interstate means connecting two or more states.
I don't know. I think they're planning on building a bridge or a tunnel. Eventually.
When you drive a car you never have to think about, what will you think about? The Civic from Honda.
No way.
Never seen an angel with wings?
No.
Ever heard of 1-800-COLLECT?
Who hasn't? When you want to call collect, dial 1-800-COLLECT.
Braun and Brett. I like that. 1-800-COLLECT. Save $1 or $2.
Don't hide behind LAPD Blue. It's not your color.
2 cops.
The only reason this city's here is because I built it with bullets.
1 police force.
My badge doesn't glow anymore.
0 tolerance.
Do you know what you're doing?
Declaring war.
I'm going down.
On February 21st, the shootout will begin.
Swoop down on him like the Lord's Fury.
Kurt Russell.
How ugly you think it's going to get?
And Ving Rhames.
Ugly.
Dark Blue. Rated R. Starts February 21st at theaters everywhere.
Chili's baby back ribs. To go.
I think it's going to be about a yard short. Bring it up 4th and 1.
Get in, get out, get on with your life.
Is razor burn ruining your morning? The Extreme 3 from Schick balances 3 blades on a central pivot for a close, comfortable shave. The Extreme 3. Get close, not burned.
Visit Western.com, member of Starwood Preferred Guest.
Hello and welcome to the 1-800-CALL-ATT halftime report. Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant, 15 of 25 from the floor. They combined for 40 points. Lakers lead a 63-55. A very different flavor. Of course, the Sacramento Kings playing without 3 of their big guns in this game, but still the Lakers have a positive first half. Greg Anthony, your thoughts?
Well, it's exactly what you would expect if you think about it. Basically, you got the Lakers with too much Shaq inside. They don't have the bodies, meaning Sacramento, to compete with Shaquille right now, with Pollard being out as well as Weber. So it's going to be tough in the second half.
All right, we will see. Meanwhile, to get the insight on what's really going on with the Sacramento Kings, we went straight to the top of the organization. Joe and Gavin Maloof, who run the Kings organization, are also have become media darlings. I mean, you know, it's a new wave of owner in the NBA, and they're not just guys who are bringing an exciting product to a town, but they're also guys who are recognized across the country. You see them sitting with Penny Marshall and Barry Bonds at tonight's game. Guys, first of all, welcome. Thanks for hanging out with us. I got a question. Do you have to hit 73 home runs, or do you have to have blockbuster movies to kick it with you in the front row in Arco?
That helps a lot.
That makes a big difference.
Yeah, we'll let you sit with us.
I'll hold you to that, okay? Meanwhile, your thoughts on the first half, and obviously you're missing so many key components.
Well, we're missing, obviously Chris and Bobby, but this Laker team's still great. They're showing it tonight. I mean, looks like they can turn it up whenever they want to, and I'm actually a little surprised they're playing as well as they are. I mean, they're still a very, very good team.
Well, guys, I mean, are you at the point now where, in essence, these regular season games are just regular season games, and nothing will matter until you get by the Lakers in the playoffs and kind of get that monkey off your back?
Well, definitely. I mean, this is a regular season game. It's kind of a statement game, but it's not going to make or break our season. Just like our win at Christmas didn't make it break their season, but we feel that once we get healthy, get all of our troops back, that we have a team that can really compete.
Hey guys, Greg Anthony, and I wanted to say, look, since I'm not playing at UNLV anymore, when I come to Vegas, is it possible maybe to get a suite, complimentary, you know, bring the family out?
No, we're going to charge you double.
That's a good point.
I'm kidding. We'll take care of you.
Hey, you guys are great. Listen, you know, for me personally, it's really exciting to see this new style of ownership that you guys have brought to the table, along with Mark Cuban and some of the other new generation type owners. But what's your style? Is it more of a hands-on in terms of the basketball operations, or do you guys kind of take a seat back from that and allow your management team to run the team?
Actually, we made a commitment when we bought the team to stay out of the basketball part of the business. You know, we don't understand the X's and O's, and they all look good to us. All these players look great to us, so we're not very good judges of talent. So we've left it up to Jeff Petrie and of course, Coach Adelman. They've done a great job the past 4 years for us.
Hey, guys, do you consider the season to be a success if you do or don't win a championship? Meaning, you know, do you have to win it in order for you guys to feel like, okay, this has been a successful season? Or if, say, you get to the finals and get upset, would you guys consider that a failure?
Well, I don't know if we look at it as a failure, but our entire goal for the year has been to win the championship. We focused in on the job at hand, nothing else. We have no other distractions. All the players are focused. We're focused. The town is behind us. We have a lot of momentum. We spent a lot of money, so we're expecting to go all the way.
Yeah, it's funny, you mentioned you spent a lot of money. Is the team profitable? Because no matter, you've been able to raise ticket prices nearly 80% in the last 3 years, but still you have a waiting list that's quite long.
We have a long waiting list, and the fans here are rabid, obviously, but you know, we made a little money last year. It was a good year for us. This year we'll probably lose a little money, but you know, you don't look at it year in and year out. You look at it over the long period of time, and we think it's a good investment to sign the players that we've done so far this year, and you know, we're going to look at it as a good investment over the next 5 to 10 years.
Hey, guys, do you have a little rivalry going with Mark Cuban? Is it you're the young guns of the NBA? Is there a little rivalry?
Well, you know, we want to beat him. I mean, he's a good guy and all, but we're competitive, and I'm sure he wants to beat us. That's just how it goes. It's a good rivalry that we've developed with Dallas as well.
Well, I think you whooped them last year, if I'm correct, in the playoffs. Hey, guys, thanks for taking time out to join us and hang out. And by the way, who's staying in the Real World suite now that they're done filming The Real World in the Palms?
Well, you are.
Yeah, you're doggone right. You're doggone right.
We rent it out, too, for $5,000 a night.
Well, then you have to talk to Greg Anthony because he has that kind of money. I'm the wrong guy. Joe and Gavin Maloof, thanks a bunch, guys.
Thank you.
I'll see you later. So, you know, the great thing about the Maloof brothers is that they are a new style of owner that has changed the game. But once again, they have quite a waiting list in Sacramento, people waiting to get into that arena on a consistent basis.
And I think more so because these guys are such very good businessmen, and they also have brought a very fan-friendly environment to that atmosphere. And I think it's been pretty exciting thus far.
It's the new flavor in the NBA. And speaking of the new flavor, the Kings have to get by the old flavor before they can win a championship. The old flavor, the Los Angeles Lakers. That game plus scores and highlights on the way.
This halftime report is presented by 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls. It's free for you and cheap for them.
Word has it someone here's trying to make a collect call. Calm down, people. All you gotta do is dial down the center with 1-800-CALLATT. It's free for you, it's cheap for them. What do you say we get up out of here and go hit a disco? Or not.
Save on every call. Dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
I don't stop. I don't stop.
Ultimate power to look better, to be stronger, to redefine your body and yourself. This is the Bowflex Power Pro. Quite possibly the most effective home fitness machine ever made. In as little as 20 minutes a day, 3 times a week, you can get real results that can change your entire body. With over 60 Health Club quality exercises and up to 410 pounds of resistance, it's like having an entire gym in your home. Bowflex is so effective that we guarantee you'll get the results you want in 6 weeks or less. You can own a Bowflex with no money down and payments as low as $33 per month. Call and ask for a free video and brochure and check out the entire Bowflex lineup or visit us on the web at BowflexDirect.com today. Redefine your body with Bowflex.
Welcome back to the 1-800-CALL-ATT halftime report. Scores and highlights to get to. Let's go to work. Bulls and Blazers. Rasheed Wallace back in. Oh, my goodness, Rasheed.
Finishing strong. I tell you what, they don't even miss him, but he comes back and plays strong.
Eddie Robinson, the oops upside your head. Portland up 29-26, but Wallace is just insane. Rasheed, 5 of 7 from the land of plenty, 28 points in this game, and he's not done.
No, he's finishing. Again, this guy is a dominant player, a true superstar in this league. He's going to be a factor the rest of the season.
Phoenix has won 10 of their last 12 in L.A. against the Clippers. They're in the third quarter. Meanwhile, Golden State has lost 17 straight in Utah. T-Wolves and Rockets, and big night for Yao. How about KG? Oof. Garnett, Yao Ming. Ooh, yo. Nasty. But Houston taking care of business also. Great ball movement, and Yao ends up with the rock.
I tell you, he played well again. Tired legs for Minnesota. Tough game last night. Houston should have taken advantage of it, and they did.
Steve Francis, the bucket there. Francis has 27. Yao has 24. And Cat Mobley also getting in the mix. Rockets put up 121. Obviously, they didn't lose. Spurs taking on the Magic. Game 1 of our doubleheader. And late in the game, T-Mac, the new daddy. Ooh, daddy make the bad man stop. But down the stretch, look at that. Tim Duncan effort.
MVP, second and third effort to get the bucket, the game winner.
Last chance for T-Mac. No Magic for Orlando tonight. Good night now. T-Mac and Duncan with a lot of love for each other. The hug. But 109-108 your final score. Celtics, Pistons, Antoine Walker came back. So did Chauncey Billups. He's back in town. The number 3 pick in the 97 draft, rolling. Billups had 24 points. How about Rip Hamilton? He added 29. Tay-Tay even got busy. Tayshaun Prince.
Played extremely well. Can you say that that's probably the best backcourt in the Eastern Conference right now?
Pistons up by 60. They go on to win 118-66. It's the worst loss in Celtics history. Pacers and Raptors, that's Jermaine O'Neal using 2 hands like his mama taught him at the other end. The Junkyard Dog gets the bucket. Vince Carter finishing. He had 16, 4, and 4 assists, but then madness. Mo Pete and Al Harrington get tangled up. Al believes that Mo did it on purpose. Isaiah Thomas said he's upset because he feels that people are taking cheap shots at the Pacers. Party's on.
It's going to be on for the rest of the season, and this is going to be a wake-up call for the Pacers.
Look at Isaiah Thomas upset because he said that Peterson mouthed something to him that he could not repeat. Ejections abound and the madness abound. Why do guys take their jerseys off when they... They're dirty. I still don't understand it. Why do they take their jerseys off? 102-90. Raptors win the game. Meanwhile, Kobe Bryant rolling. Lakers rolling. Sure, the Kings are missing a few of the people from their royal court, but the Lakers are playing like royalty.
This halftime report is presented by 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls. It's free for you and cheap for them.
The stronger the foundation, the taller the building. And the more you put into a truck, the more you get out of it. At Toyota, we're proud that the Tundra has been ranked best in initial quality 3 years in a row. For people who care about getting the job done right, we built the Toyota Tundra better from the ground up.
I win again. You lose. I win. Oh no, my batteries are dying.
Presenting our longest-lasting Energizer Max ever. Energizer Max. Do you have the bunny inside?
Philadelphia Eagle Donovan McNabb and his mom brought Jim Gilbert Campbell's Chunky Sirloin Burger with loads of hearty sirloin burgers to fill him up right. He didn't leave a scrap.
Yellow pencils. Yellow post-it notes. Yellow boxers. Yellow boxers.
$14.
Land career, air career, pedicure, reader.
$137.
2 printers, 2 scanners, 2
$540. Keeping business expenses separate from personal expenses? Priceless.
Letterhead, cinnamon bread, envelope.
There are some things money can't buy. For everything business, there's MasterCard Business Card.
You have done me a great injustice, Johnny. This is not fit for a man. New Blistex Clear Advance. For men, Johnny. For men. It's shine-free with tough protection. And I know about protection. New Blistex Clear Advance. For men.
You go this way, I'll go that way.
On February 7th, get ready for some wild nights.
I call that one my Kung Pao chicken.
Shanghai Nights, rated PG-13.
Quarter number 3 here in Sacramento. Lakers leading the Kings by 8 on NBA Friday. And during the half, after the teams came out, there's a receiving line here to say hi to Barry Bonds and Penny Marshall, Robert Ory, among those that are coming over for a little lunch for the man who's hit more home runs than anybody in one season in the history of Major League Baseball. Brian Shaw with a hello. A kiss for Penny as well. Now, Sacramento needing equal time, obviously, so Vlade Divac follows the Lakers to come say hi to Barry, and Penny's getting second billing here in this whole deal, but it's all right. She's still getting the welcome. Mike Tirico, Bill Walton, Tom Tolbert, Stuart Scott. Here are the numbers at the break. Lakers 57% from the field, guys, and 30 points in the paint. Sacramento's bench keeping them in it. As we start quarter number 3 with Christie, Stojakovic, Turkoglu, Bibby, and Vlade Divac back on the floor for LA. Peja unable to get started. He struggled here in the first half. 2 of 8 now from the field.
The problem for Sacramento is only 3 guys are playing well. Keon Clark, Gerald Wallace, and Hedo Turkoglu. It's got to be done on the offensive end if Sacramento is going to have a chance to win. They're shooting 38%. The guys who are struggling, they're trying to dribble too much.
Yeah, I tell you why you're scared if you're Sacramento. You outscored them a plus 12 on second chance points, yet you're down 8.
As a shot clock violation, never hit the rim. Phil Jackson's team with the excellent 35-point second quarter. That high shooting percentage, but a better defensive set from Sacramento that time.
Their defense has to get better. But Sacramento's got to start with the defensive end. The offense will come, but if they allow the Lakers again to shoot over 50% in the second half, forget about it.
Vlade has to come alive.
Just 10 minutes and 3 points in that first half. Mike Bibby knocks down a 2. It's his third field goal on the night. 6-point Laker lead.
You don't think Vlade is too concerned about his new restaurant, do you?
No, that's a big opening tonight. Afterwards, you're going to be there, Bill? Fisher to Kobe. And the rebound, Turkoglu.
I do plan on going.
Oh, you're going to go? Excellent. I hope we can share a table, and I haven't spent enough time with you guys tonight. Look forward to a little post-game meal with you and Tom. It'll be Sacramento ball.
I didn't know Tom was going.
Change of plans. Peja steps back and knocks down a 3. This Kings team shoots 10% better in Arco from behind the arc. A 43% three-point shooting team at home. O'Neal lost it.
Finally a play defensively by Doug Christie.
Peja goes all the way. Rick Fox took it away and kept it alive with a brilliant behind the back.
Boy, that's a big momentum killer right there. Down 3 on the break. You got to make sure you hold the Lakers right here.
Shaq's got to go to the hoop.
Ory dumps it down to O'Neal. Fouled by Vlade Divac. Just his first on the night. And here's Stuart Scott.
Mike, Jimmy Jackson had 21 points off the bench last night. I was talking to him before the game. We played a little bit of Sports Center Fact or Fiction. I said, fact or fiction, the road through the West leads through Sacramento. He says, fact. I said, all right, fact or fiction, the Lakers pose the biggest threat to the Kings. He says, fiction. I thought he was going to say that it was the Mavericks or somebody. He said, we pose the biggest threat to ourselves. He said, if we shoot the ball well, if we play defense, there's not anybody who can beat us. So thank you, Jimmy Jackson, for playing fact or fiction. We'll see you on Sports Center, Mike.
It's saved by Fox to keep the possession alive for L.A.
Jimmy's a relative newcomer to this series. He doesn't realize that Lakers have owned the Kings.
Defensive intensity, the first part of this third quarter has really picked up for the Kings.
Good call, Tom. Kobe on the foul. That was missing in the first half as Sacramento plays the back end of a back-to-back. 3 on Bryant.
Maybe Jimmy Jackson doesn't remember that the Lakers have won 4 out of the last 6 games here at Arco, not counting the playoffs.
Christie got close and could not finish. They've won 11 of the last 14, 18 of the last 24 in the series, too, Bill. And that includes the Lakers' defeat on Christmas night, 105-99. The battle with Christie and Fisher.
Oh, it's come to this. Not only are they hugging and kissing before the games, they're pulling each other back up.
Nothing wrong with a little brotherly love, is there? You would have stepped on him, wouldn't you? You would have.
They're on the other team.
There you go. That's the old school thinking, though, Bill. You know that doesn't exist anymore.
If they're on the other team, they either don't exist or they are the enemy.
Well, it existed between these teams on Christmas night. We were all in Staples Center for the ABC game as Ori misses, and the Kings come away with it. Didn't you feel more intensity in the building that night as opposed to tonight?
But that's the absence of Chris Webber. Chris Webber changes everything. He was a monster that night. Christmas night, Chris Webber had 25 points and 15 rebounds.
Yes, he did. Doug Christie's wife, who's found herself in part of this story, Jackie Christie, who's chasing the fight up the tunnel. D-Box goes right at Shaq, and Shaq says what Tom said.
When you got a big man defender on the move like that, come to a stop. Fake the drive layup, come to a stop, reverse pivot, and swing the jump hook. Bibby's on fire here in the third.
Well, that's the first time in 3 halves, the 2 last night in Seattle and this half, that Mike Bibby looks like Mike Bibby.
Get it to the big fella. He should touch the ball this time down the court.
Fans on their feet, early third quarter. There's the touch to Fox. Bring them back to their seats.
And that's why he is a superstar, a great player, because he makes everybody else's job easier. That easy shot from the corner was the result of Shaq touching the ball and a quick kick back out.
Stojakovic step on Fox, pick out Christie. That's 3. I love this building. I really do. Kobe on the tape. Off the window over Turkoglu for 2.
I love that guy's game.
I don't know. Is it just me or the last 90 seconds it still kind of felt like the playoffs?
A lot better than most of that first half.
It feels like Lakers Kings in Sacramento. You're right.
Nice step out by Shaq. Rare.
Into Vlade, out to Christie for the tie. And a foul on Fox. Phil Jackson says, I don't think so, Derek Richardson. Not 4 on Rick.
Imagine if Doug Christie could shoot.
Rick comes to the bench with 4, and Devin George will have to play big minutes across the third here.
I'd come right to Stojakovic right now.
Takes it. Rimmed it out.
Christie's not that bad a shooter. He's 46%. In today's NBA, that's gold.
Bryant, the gold standard, re-extends the lead to 5. Is also a 37% three-point shooter.
It's the weak link of the team.
Come on, what are you talking about? We just gave you statistical data that shows that he's a pretty good shooter.
This one's on Vlade.
Stats. Give me ball
What else can I
players.
resort to with you? I gotta show you. No, I wouldn't have
Doug
known those
Christie
numbers,
is an
but when you
important
said that,
part of this team, but his shooting is the weak link.
I disagree. I don't think he's a great shooter, but I think he's a good enough shooter, and he's hit some big shots for the Kings.
Kobe on the take, the bump in the basket.
Holy mackerel.
How good is he playing, by the way, the last month? He's had an unbelievable month at his last touch by Fisher, and we'll stay with Sacramento.
Talked about the struggles for Mike Bibby, as Kobe Bryant is just putting on a demonstration matched by few in the history of the NBA.
Bibby, as we come back.
But with talk about the struggles of Mike Bibby. Remember, he missed so much at the beginning. You talk about the wall that Yao Ming has hit. He burst out of it a little bit tonight with a big game against Minnesota. Bibby is hitting that right now. If you don't go to training camp, if you sit out for so long, it's difficult.
If that went, we were all ready to put the headsets down.
I was going.
4-on-4, the lead for Peja. The big men join the play. Now they'll go half court. Christie got Bryant in the lane. Shot came over defensively and a foul on L.A. It's on O'Neal. And we have a timeout. Kings back in it with the defensive intensity. Their fans back in it as well.
Don't miss the best Toyota has to offer, like Toyota Corolla, named Best Compact Car in initial quality 3 years in a row. Or the truly different Matrix, a Consumer's Digest Best Buy. Don't miss the best values at your Toyota dealer. If someone wrote a book about your life, would anyone want to read it? The stories of tomorrow are being written today in the U.S. Navy. You'll do more in a few years than most people do in a lifetime, if you're ready. Check out the Life Accelerator at Navy.com. Navy, accelerate your life.
For those who love to bash, gash, smash, and crash, there is Rygar. Unleash your devastating disc armor for a Greco-Roman reality break. Rygar, the joy of destruction. Rated T for Team. Tecmo, 100% games.
Sunday, the heat is on because the badge is back.
Who are you? LAPD.
The creator of Law & Order brings a classic police drama back to television. But this time, the criminals are tougher.
Next, throw with slash.
And so are the cops.
Drop your weapon. Shut up. Tell us where they are.
Ed O'Neill is Joe Friday.
Hold your fire.
Ethan Embry is Frank Smith.
We're the good guys. You're under arrest for murder.
The new Dragnet, Sunday after Alias on ABC.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the NBA.
ESPN's presentation of NBA Friday, brought to you by Toyota. Get the feeling.
Bulls and Blazers, and Marcus Fizer really playing well for the Bulls right now. He's averaging 15 points in the last 6 games, 2 big steps, and oh boy, when the knee buckles, that's bad news. Hyperextended knee, that hurts, Greg Anthony.
Oh, it hurts a great deal, and also hurts the it hurts to watch. This guy's been playing almost at a 6-man of the year pace, so this is going to be a huge loss for them if it's anything extended.
Meanwhile, Blazers clicking. Rasheed Wallace, 28 points and 7 rebounds in the game. Dale Davis, 17 and 13, and Stoudemire to Patterson. That kind of night, the Boombaye, 103-89. Time's ticking away. Gentlemen?
Well, Kevin, the Blazers were 5-2 while Rasheed Wallace set out that 7-game stretch. They're going to move to 29-16, and Sacramento continuing to stay ahead of the Portland Hot Trail. And, you know, this Laker team, if they lose tonight, guys, they fall 4 below 500. I think they're going to have a tougher time than some people think trying to catch the 8th spot where Houston sits right now.
Well, it's not baseball. Baseball, you make up ground. It seems like a lot quicker. Basketball, 4.5 games.
Oh, please.
You know,
You're saying the Lakers aren't going to make the playoffs?
No, I'm saying there's a possibility. You may have to win 47 games to get to the playoffs. There's a possibility the playoffs.
The Lakers are going to make the playoffs, and they'll still be the team to beat in the playoffs.
I'm not disputing the fact that they'll make the playoffs. I'm just saying there's a possibility, a small possibility, but I would have never even thought about that a month ago. But now, the way Houston's playing, Utah, Minnesota, I mean, there's some good teams at the bottom of the Western Conference.
Sacramento within 3. The Lakers are in the midst of an important stretch of their season as we head up to the All-Star break. More about that in a second. Probing the outside of this Sacramento defense. They finally get it to O'Neal.
Shaq hasn't taken a shot until then. That is unconscionable on the rest of the Lakers team. This is a guy that took 8 shots in the first quarter, made 5 of them, only took 2 in the second. That's his first shot. We're more than halfway through the third. Beautiful pass
from Christie to Stojakovic. It's a 3-point Laker lead. Stuart Scott, you were talking to Kobe earlier about this stretch the Lakers are in right now.
Yeah, Mike, Kobe said that this game is not what's important to them. He's not thinking about the rivalry of this game. It's this stretch of games, starting with their last game against Phoenix, which was a win, this game tonight, a game against Utah, and then at Indiana and at New York. He said that 5-game stretch is critical because if they win all 5, they'll be 24 and 23 at the break, a game above 500 at the break, which is what Robert Horry was talking about a few weeks ago, Mike. So that's their goal, not the game, but the run.
And they play tomorrow night at Staples against Utah. The Jazz playing very well.
Kevin George misfired. Horry got the rebound. Vlade, who picked up his second foul a moment ago, took it away from George. Kings can get it to 1 or tie with a Turkoglu 3. Couldn't get the bounce. Sacramento keeps climbing the mountain. They get to the top and they find the right foot slipping out from under them.
A nice setup by Bibby. One of the rare times tonight he's been able to get penetration.
Fisher missed. Page to the board.
This is well as I've seen Shaq move all year long. Consistently getting up and down the court, not just on the offensive end, but transition moves.
Page to 3.
Make noise without thunderstick? Oh my!
Good stuff. 5 to shoot. Christie on the D on Kobe. Turkoglu there helping. Kobe with the dagger. 3.
Ooh, the silencer.
Sacramento's not running back. Christie the only one who continues the attack.
Fouled by Horry. His 3rd. Horry and Bryant have 3. Fox has 4.
Bibby up the court. It was Stojakovic just floating up the breakdown in transition defense by Los Angeles. Allowed Peja Stojakovic to get open. Inexcusable.
Doug Christie at the line for 2. One of the reasons Doug has been struggling is with some stitches in his finger. 7 of them on this recent road trip. And 8 of 23 from the field in his last 5 games, so that shooting percentage has dwindled. He has been the lone king, did not miss any games, staying healthy throughout this season. The only games he missed was the 2-game suspension from the end of the preseason altercation with Rick Fox.
You guys just spent 30 seconds telling me what a great shooter this guy was, and then you come back with some, I don't know. This guy's the great shooter.
Kobe Bryant. It's complete balance here, you know. Tearing balance, that's what we do. Here's Fisher, that's 2. Vlade comes away with the board.
Well, let's remember, there's a middle ground between abysmal and great.
Bibby in the paint.
Oh, no. What is that?
I didn't even think that was going to get to the rim, guys. No, that wasn't getting to the rim.
Well, that even brought Phil Jackson up off the bench. Phil, who was so animated in the game Wednesday night at America West Arena in Phoenix. Lakers' biggest road win of the season. cannot believe that atrocious call.
Well, certainly it didn't look like it was getting to the rim, but
Throw it down, Shaq. Throw it down. Restore order.
Foul by Vlade, his third. It's so nice to hear Bill Walton say, restore order.
well, the great penetration right there by Orr. He's the one that draws Divac over, and then Divac has no choice but to foul Shaq. They've been shooting very good from the line tonight.
6 for 6.
Well, I was going to say 5 for 5, but I know you don't like numbers, so I didn't want to confuse you while you was at the line. I just said very good.
I remember 2 weeks ago.
No, don't start with that again. I don't even want to hear the exceptional comment that you're coming with.
I said he was an outstanding free throw shooter.
I'm sorry.
For those
it's sad what's happened to your memory, Tom.
Those who weren't watching,
2 weeks.
Keep moving.
2 weeks.
Keep moving.
Mike, during the Rockets-Lakers game, for those of you who haven't been getting transcripts of their commentary, 7 people in America knew what you guys were talking about, by the way. Lakers by
family.
Lakers by 2. No, they've turned off at this point. Peja blocked by Devin George.
Wow.
Great D. Yeah, those healthy ankles. He can contribute on the defensive end. Had 8 boards in Phoenix the other night.
How about using the reverse pivot instead of executing the shot you just faked?
Shaq on Keon Clark as Watley's gone to the bench with 3. And O'Neal much better since the timeout the middle of this quarter.
Sacramento not running the ball up after they give up a hoop.
Bibby used the screen from Clark.
Pick and roll against Shaq. Time and time again. The later in the game, the better off you are with it. Forcing Phil Jackson to call a timeout. Are they ever going to play zone, the Lakers, against that offensive strategy?
They played a little zone against Phoenix.
Yes.
It was pretty effective, too. 2-point game.
Are you Brad? I'm Alex.
No, I'm not Brad.
Blind date.
Sorry, Alex.
Hey, you must be Brad.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Alex.
New Smirnoff Ice Triple Black, premium malt beverage.
So, what is your name?
May 13th, 1947, we were playing in Crossley Field.
The fans in Cincinnati were not very pro-black baseball player at that time.
They were raucous, and they were on Jackie's case, saying anything they could about Jack, all the racial slurs they could conceive.
They didn't want us there.
And suddenly I looked up, and there was
Pee Wee Reese, a white baseball player with the Dodgers.
A couple steps from Jackie, put his arm on his shoulder.
Put his arm around Jackie Robinson, a black man from Cairo, Georgia.
When you have money problems, just going to the mailbox can be frightening. It's the same when the phone rings. You know it's another creditor. I thought bankruptcy was the only way out. And then I called Ameridebt.
Every day, Ameridebt helps more people with money problems. We're a nonprofit organization offering free consultations to consumers seeking to eliminate their debt.
Now my balances are dropping, and I only have one small monthly payment.
Call this number regardless of your situation. Ameridebt, helping America get out of debt.
You provide for your family, but can you afford enough life insurance to make sure they're provided for in the future? Yes, you can. Over 1 million Americans have already discovered the secret to affordable life insurance. Best quote, a man 35 can purchase $400,000 in term life coverage for about $15 a month, or less than 50 cents a day.
The best way to buy insurance for less. Best quote.
Call 1-800-859-5334. 1-800-859-5334.
You hear that? Back at Arco Arena, the Lakers lead the Kings 81-79. Vlade Divac, the man here in Sacramento. If you remember back in the preseason, the second part of the fight between Doug Christie and Rick Fox, the second part was in the tunnel. Vlade Divac and Shaq among those pushing in the tunnel.
But there is no truth to the rumor that this tunnel fight spurred the idea for Vlade's new restaurant and bar here in Sacramento. It's called Tunnel 21. And actually, you don't say tunnel. The Serbian pronunciation is Tunel 21. Every tunnel in Serbia has a number, hence the name Tunel 21 and Vlade's number. Now, here's the thing about the restaurant. It's a New York, LA-style restaurant and bar. Very cool, very eclectic. I asked Vlade's wife, Anna, would Laker players be welcome after games? She said, of course, we're not like them. I asked a bartender, would Laker players be welcome after the games? He said, of course Kobe will be welcome as long as he orders something to eat. Of course, another dig at the whole food poisoning thing from last year, Mike.
Did you eat there today, Stu? Silence. I guess that means yes. Stopped over at Tunel 21 for lunch earlier today. It's in Old Sacramento, and one of the reasons, as Devin George takes it too short, one of the reasons Vlade wanted to open the restaurant is there was someplace for the guys to go after the game. Not many places in Sacramento serving at 10:30 at night, and one of the chefs will be there to cook after all the Kings home games for the players.
Oh, you haven't been to the Esquire?
Keon Clark misfired. Good battle inside with Bryant Wallace, and Gerald gets called for that one.
We don't mind that type of foul. That's a hustle foul. That's getting under there. An energy foul. If you're a coach, you don't like mental errors, but as far as they're giving the effort, as long as they're giving the effort and showing the energy, no problem with that.
Rick Adelman, conversation for 14-year NBA veteran official Derek Stafford.
A player like Gerald Wallace can burn fouls. He's not getting big minutes.
Kobe Bryant.
Lakers.
I'm sorry. I think Vlade is disappointed. There's a chance to argue with the officials, and he's not involved. He's just looking for somebody to yell at. Log on to NBA.com this week and play Triple Double, the new daily fantasy game, only on NBA.com. Sorry, Biff.
Lakers dynamic duo of Shaq and Kobe have combined for 55 points tonight on 64% shooting. The rest of the Lakers are throwing up bricks, 41%, and only combined, the rest of the 10 players on the team, only 27 points between them. Yikes.
Kobe now has 31. Lakers have led almost all the way. Sacramento had an early 6-2 lead. LA's had the advantage since then. Stojakovic has been hotter in this third quarter, but he misfired, and Bryant gets the rebound.
This is the matchup I want. Gerald Wallace against Kobe.
Well, this is an important minute and a half right here. For the Lakers, you'd like to extend your lead back out, make it comfortable.
Wow.
Kobe again.
A great pick by Samaki Walker. And Keon Clark, you'd think he would jump out and double that. And he'd make him pass it to Samaki Walker.
Bryant, 33 on 23 shots. Jim Jackson, quiet in the first half. Gets going here in the second. He had 21 on 9 of 12 shooting last night in Seattle.
Step out, Gerald Wallace. Double team Kobe. Make somebody else beat you. So this guy will beat you.
Jim Jackson being physical with him. Nice jump. Down by Ori. Whoa! Is Kobe having a great quarter or what?
Unbelievable. Bullet pass on the money. All we had to do is catch it. That was an easy deuce. 2 for 1 if they want it.
A lot of dribbling by Stojakovic, not his game.
Open Jackson. Ori, nice recovery. Bibby, tough to catch it. Good job. That was down by his knee.
Last shot time by the Lakers. They blew it at the end of the half.
And Bibby is hurting with his ankle down at this side. That's why Rick Adelman was saying foul to get Mike, and he can't believe that a foul wasn't called as the run out defensively got the worst of Mike.
When will this endless string of injuries stop for the Sacramento Kings?
Let's watch there. The left portion of the screen on the release is coming back. I don't know if it came as he fell down on the defender or on the trip with the cameraman.
Or both.
And reaching with that right foot, of course, that's the foot he had the stress fracture in. And Mike is going right back to the locker room. Oh, boy, this could be...
He's walking out there.
Again, Bibby had the stress fracture of the right foot that forced him to miss 27 games at the start of the year, and immediately goes back into the locker room. This match unit is an understatement for Sacramento this year. Fisher makes both, 5-point Laker lead.
Well, I guarantee you right now through his head is, well, I hope we win this game. And are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Shot clock is off. Damon Jones off the bench. He was signed because of the Bibby injury in the preseason, and because of all the injuries, he stayed in Sacramento. Clark is fouled by Ori, and that's Roberts' fourth.
Both Laker forwards, Ori and Fox, with 4 fouls. Looked like all ball from here. But the wild swing down, Rick Fox can't wait to get back into this game. But Robert Ori saying, was it on me? Come on, Slava Medvedenko or Kurt Rambis had to be somewhere near.
Keon misses the first, weakest part of his game. 60% free throw shooter. There is the 45-year-old Kurt Rambis, who had a brief stint as a Laker head coach and now an assistant. Really working with the young players every night. You come to see the Lakers. Whether it's Gennaro Pargo who's on the injured list or one of the other young players like Medvedenko.
Well, 60%'s not bad from the line. It's, what, outstanding or exceptional? One or the other.
Who would you rather have at the line, Shaq or Keon Clark?
Do you have to choose?
Shaw to Bryant. Did not get it off in time. And it ends the third quarter. Well, Sacramento got back in this game, but there's definite concern in the building because the man who had an injured right foot the first 27 games of this season went back to the locker room limping on that right foot. Kobe Bryant, 33 points, 13 in that third quarter. Off we go to the fourth. Lakers by 5 in Sacktown on NBA Friday.
Tonight on SportsCenter, Young and Dunn. What's LeBron's next move? West Coast culture clash, Lakers and Kings. The NBA's newest bad boys are at it again. Winter X Game 7 continues Saturday at 2:30 on ABC and all week on ESPN and ESPN2.
I wish at some point in life you might believe that you already have everything. Almost everything. Toyota Camry with electronic AC, audio CD player, power windows, and door locks for less than $20,000.
It's Howard.
Oh, Howard.
What do you get when you mix a chef, a plumber, and a policeman with an abandoned restaurant? A recipe for success. With the help of their local community coalition, these three brought in carpenters and electricians. They donated time and materials and helped turn that old restaurant into a family center. Now they're all building a better community, volunteering to help keep kids away from drugs. And that's the tastiest dish of all. Visit helpyourcommunity.org to see what your group can do. Because you get more.
When you get together.
What is love? What is love? Love is playing every game as if it's your last.
Quarter number 4, Sacramento 3 better than LA in the third. The good news for Kings fans, Mike Bibby's back on the bench. Here's Stuart Scott with the update.
Mike Bibby went back just before the end of the quarter. Everybody held their breath because it's the same foot that caused him to miss 27 games. He came right back out in the court. I just talked to him. He said he just hit the top of his foot right there on the camera guy. Just the top of his foot. It has nothing to do with the stress fracture. He says he's okay. He's about to go back in.
All right, a 13-point third quarter for Mike Bibby, Stu. 13 points matched by Kobe Bryant, who has 33 in 34 minutes this evening, Tom Coburn.
Well, not just the 33 points, 13 for 23. They're efficient shots. It's not 13 for 35 or 13 for 30, and doing it in a variety of ways. He's doing inside. He's doing outside. Robert Horry helping him get over. And he's taking every advantage, and he's the one, when the Kings make their run, give the ball to Kobe, and he's shutting them up.
Bryant 33, O'Neal 25, 58 of the Laker points. The rest of the team, just a couple less than Kobe, Bill Walton.
Kings have already missed 6 free throws in this game. They missed 14 in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals a year ago. You've got to play perfect to beat the Lakers, and you've got to be able to keep Shaq off the offensive glass.
Shaq missed it, but it was out of bounds off the Kings. It's been a problem for Sacramento in big spots, and again this season they are 24th in the league, shooting just under 72% from the line.
That might be the most amazing stat in the league this year, that the Kings are that low at the free throw line.
When they're second in field goal percentage and 5th in three-point percentage, it seemed like such good shooters. Keon Clark had an arm around O'Neal. Rick Adelman.
The argument, they're going to set it to 14. They've got to set this at 14 instead of 24. Joe Crawford standing there just...
You're the 23.
Excuse me.
Yep. 23. That's right.
My error.
Well, it's good. It's the end of the month. I didn't think you were going to get one in January.
I've got plenty.
Bryant met 4 Kings. Sacramento back the other way with Jones and Jackson at 3. Kings have hit 9 3-pointers tonight. Laker lead down to 2. Sacramento hasn't led since 6-2 in the first quarter. O'Neal picks up another foul. This one's on Jim Jackson for the defensive help. A moment ago, he knocked down the 3.
What is a nice job by Damon Jones right there. Dribbling in, turn, get a little roadblock, and then pitch it back to Jim Jackson. But Shaq is the most difficult guy in the league to try to figure out when to double team. Because you don't want to double team him outside the paint, but as soon as he gets his momentum going toward the paint, then it's too late. You really got to be precise.
And the weak side help from Wallace with the block. That time O'Neal went back to the middle, Bill, and it spun baseline, and Wallace reacted.
That's the shot Shaq wants to take. This move up the lane is all to set up, and that's how you get block shots.
5 to shoot. Bryant sees it, strokes it. Rebound. Oh, Sacramento had 2 players there. Laker ball.
To never fault the effort of Gerald Wallace.
Great high rise by Gerald. A terrific leaper for his size at 6'7". Bryant's going to come get a break for a couple of minutes, and Kareem Rush will come in for L.A.
Well, wouldn't you agree a lot of times that you're fighting for a rebound? You don't even know it's your teammate. You're just battling for a rebound all of a sudden.
No, they have to know.
Right into Shaq. Got it back. Got the basket.
That one's hard to stop.
Well, those are the type of plays where Chris Webber, who rarely guards Shaq, is so valuable because his double team and his ability to get the rebound is so critical for Sacramento.
Asa Stojakovic now has 23 points here tonight.
All he needs is just an inch.
It is a steady diet of the big fella. That one punched back out by O'Neal all the way across the court. Plenty of time. It's a fresh shot clock. Wallace there for the defensive help, and O'Neal will shoot free throws. Jim Jackson trying to point to Wallace, make sure he got the foul call, and not Keon Clark, and he does. He did.
What is the foul trouble situation for the big men for Sacramento?
It's not too bad, Bill. No Sacramento player has more than 3 fouls as you watch Stojakovic hit his 6th field goal, and Chris Webber loving as much as he can. He would love to be out there.
Vlade Divac has 3. Keon Clark has 2.
Shaq rock solid 8 of 8 at the line tonight. who you root for tonight. You love sports when guys get up for a game and you see the best play at their best. And when Shaq goes 9 for 9 at the line and the Lakers have missed just one free throw, you know they came to play tonight. Wallace got a step and got 2. First points of the second half for Gerald Wallace, who had a terrific 10. He beat Robert Horry that time.
He just overpowered Horry. Why doesn't this guy play more?
Sacramento back within 2.
Wallace again, everywhere.
Rush and Shaw, the backcourt. Devin George, the guy who feeds O'Neal this time. And it's the full Shaq show now.
But the good thing for Sacramento, even though Shaq's getting points, they're not fouling him every time.
Oh, Wallace got committed in the air, and that's a foul on Sacramento before the turnover.
And that foul really helped Sacramento because Lakers had a break underway.
Look at the big fella hanging in the air here. The hang time. He catches the ball down there. And Mike Bibby coming back after scoring 13 points in the third quarter. He catches the ball down there. You can forget about it.
At his best, Shaq on the move. When he just stands there and tries to overpower people, yes, he can be effective, but right now, literally unstoppable.
Bibby back in.
How long does Kobe Bryant sit?
Maybe through the next TV timeout coming up in a minute. O'Neal. Divac came over. Tasia wants the foul called on him, and it is. The big guys are not getting in foul trouble. Just 2 on Stojakovic. And the big man will come to the line. 9 of 9 at the stripe for Shaquille O'Neal.
We got some good odds on that one. 9 for 9.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know you don't.
Full-out event tonight in Sacramento. And people thought about what they were going to wear to the game tonight. That's how you know it's an event. People put time for their signs, and it's a...
and plenty of tie-dye T-shirts in the crowd as well.
That's good. Are you wearing one under your...
Another night. You're just having the flashback, Bill. There's not a lot of tie-dye T-shirts.
I don't know what you're talking about.
A 3.
Oh, touched him. Yep. Yeah, the runs the Kings have been making and the Lakers have been thwarting. This game's been between 1 and 5 points the whole second half. The Lakers haven't been able to defend. The Kings haven't been able to bust through.
But those runs, unless you get over the top, they wear you out by the end.
Yep. Jackson, Steph on Horry. Jim Jackson, who's played in Dallas, New Jersey, Philadelphia, Golden State, Portland, Atlanta, Cleveland, and Miami. Before arriving here in Sacramento, has 9 points, 5 boards, and 4 assists.
I can't believe you got that list in a 24-second shot clock possession.
Going the other way. Foul on Kareem Rush, and Lee will step out. 8:33 to go. It's January 31, but if you covered the calendar, it feels like May. Good game, great energy. Lakers by 3, and a lot on the line for LA.
And once again, let's hear it for your hit.
The 2003 Saab 9.5 Sport Wagon. 73 cubic feet of cargo space and the addictive power of turbo.
Right now, lease a Saab 9.5 Sport Wagon as low as $359 a month for 48 months. For details, see your Saab dealer.
Ted Turner Pictures presents an extraordinary story from the creators of Gettysburg. A film as heroic in scale as the events and the people on which it is based. Jeff Daniels, Stephen Lang, and Robert Duvall as Robert E. Lee.
You will come home.
A true story of the Civil War.
The rest is in God's hands.
Gods and Generals. Directed by Ron Maxwell. Rated PG-13. Starts February 21st.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for your halftime entertainment. Please direct your attention to center court as we welcome the greatest entertainer of the 20th century. Old Blue Eyes, the chairman of the board, Francis Albert Sinatra.
I've got you under my skin. I have got you deep in the heart of me. And each time I do, just the thought of you makes me stop just before I begin. Because I've got you under my skin.
Clippers and Sons with the story here at halftime. Gary Evans shooting for an SUV. Stranger banks it from Tom Tolbert range. That's what Tommy T would shoot it back in the day. Kisses it off the glass. Oh, who's living deliciously now? Suns lead the Clippers by 2, but who cares? My man's going home in an SUV. I'm not sure what kind, though, Tom.
Well, he immediately is ineligible for the rest of his high school career, right?
The Clippers may want to give him a 10-day.
Does that mean LeBron James is eligible for the NBA playoffs this spring?
No, he's not. He has to go through the draft process, so couldn't be a free agent. Will the Lakers be a part of the playoffs? They need their big fella to step up in the 1-2 punch. As good as there is in the NBA, once again on pace to have one of them lead the team in scoring. No other Laker has led the team in scoring, even when O'Neal was out for those first 12 games of the season. And it begs the question, has any team ever gone a full season with only 2 players leading them in scoring? And Bill?
2 or fewer. Wilt Chamberlain would be that answer. The year he averaged 50 points a game. And he had a lot of really good teammates on that squad to go with him. And he still did it every single game.
Al Attles, Tom Gola, among those on that Philadelphia Warrior team that was knocked out by the Celtics. That in the midst of the Celtics championship run from 59 to 66.
Never leave off Tom Meschery from that team.
Thank you.
I think the ankle's okay.
Yeah, Bibby knocks down that shot. Makes it a 1-point game. The interesting part of that O'Neal Bryant graphic, that's the only time Chamberlain in NBA history that one man has led a team in scoring the entire season, or 2 men have led a team in scoring every game the entire season.
Whenever there's a question like that, the answer is always Wilt.
He averaged 50 that year. Bibby off the Divac screen. And the rebound by Kobe. Lakers by 3 here at the 7:40 mark, 4th quarter.
Can you imagine scoring 45 and having your average drop? Incredible.
Devin George, Rick Fox, Derek Fisher, Bryant, and O'Neal.
Faced him up.
Beautiful defense.
Oh, man.
Kobe with the look and the snap of the finger right over at Barry Bonds.
3 guys come to Shaq. You would think that the other guy might stay at home with Kobe.
That's one guy I don't think I'd be leaving.
No.
Anybody else?
No.
Turkoglu, George to commit. Couldn't finish, though.
And the Lakers with the rebound. L.A. by 6.
An extremely well-played game on the night. Only 18 total turnovers in the game.
Shaq, who kicked it out the last 2 times. Try to knock it down over Vlade. The lob for Wallace was overthrown by Bibby. Lakers break. Fisher right wing. George left wing. Here's Devin. And he is fouled. So Vlade Divac, who's been so careful not to foul when O'Neal comes in, fouls Devin George.
But ill-advised pass by Mike Bibby. 3 guys on the double team, and Gerald Wallace too late on the rotation.
You see him right there once again kicking it out. I mean, that's just the key. You got to let him touch it once every time. He doesn't have to shoot it every time down the court, but you got to let him touch it.
But the key is when he touches it, because if you give it to him too late in the shot clock, then he's got nothing to do but shoot it.
George hits the first. O'Neal, 5 assists here tonight. With Shaq in his last 6 games, guys, 4 assists, 4 assists, 4 assists, 4 assists, and 6 at Phoenix.
Well, you know if you throw it into him and he's doubled and you move, he'll get you the ball. He's not a guy who's going to try to force a lot of shots against triple teams. It's too hard. Why waste the energy? Give it to a guy who's wide open and let him make you look good.
LA plus 8, 6.5 to go.
Derek Fisher keeping Mike Bibby under control.
Here is an unnecessary whistle on Devin George.
Number 3, Devin George. His 3rd.
Chris Webber continuing to watch.
how many of the Kings are playing well right now?
Well, the ones that aren't better start. They're down 8 with 6 minutes left to go.
Stojakovic after his little rest. It's his 7th field goal. Peja has 25. A dozen coming in this second half.
Well, he is deaf going left. You let him move left and let him pull the trigger, you're going to be sorry.
Fox. Triangle at work. And now the butt by Fox. O'Neal's assist, number 6. And Fox will have a chance for the three-point play.
That was an unbelievable pass right there.
He got it twice.
Yeah.
And there was still plenty of time on the shot clock. Everyone moving.
And the great thing about the pass is watch how it hits him in stride. And all Rick Fox has to do is catch and lay up. That's all. It's not a high pass or a low pass. It's on the money. And that gives the bucket and the chance for a three-point play.
And the way Shaq keeps the ball in the triple threat position, which keeps the defender's arms down, then he's able to zip that ball right by his man's head, allowing him to deliver the ball on the mark.
Sacramento now down 9. You know they've got a run left in them, but can they shut the Lakers down? Jackson, tough shot as the entire Laker team converge. And the giveaway of the foul in the backcourt. Vlade with some words has to avoid getting a tee. Well, hard to believe in a game in Sacramento with the great passing Kings, especially at Arco, that man has more assists than anybody else in the game. Shaquille O'Neal leads all players with 6 assists. The Lakers have scored the last 4 possessions. They've made a 1-point game a 9-point game.
In
9.3 Sports Sedan just received a 5-star rating for safety from the European New Car Assessment Program.
What's exhilarating? How about the all-new 220 horsepower Mazda 6, a true authentic sports sedan? Anything else? Wow! What a catch! Touchdown! ESPN and Mazda 6 present the most exhilarating moment of the year. Was it a monster dunk or a TD and OT? Log on to ESPN.com now and vote for a chance to win an exhilarating all-new 220 horsepower Mazda 6. Now that's exhilarating.
Know someone who loves baseball? Then here's the perfect gift idea. Introducing Hit-Away. Hit-Away attaches easily to a tree, post, or pole. Throw the ball away from you. And here's the pitch. Every hit winds up the Hit-Away, so it pitches to you again and again.
Since getting his Hit-Away, his average has gone way up.
With the Hit-Away, we're getting more hits and more home runs.
I bought 2 Hit-Aways for my grandkids. They love it.
Hit-Away for either baseball or softball is just $29.95. Call within the next 10 minutes and get the Hit-Away batting tips video, plus the Hit-Away carrying case free with your order. And Hit-Away comes with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Order 2 or 3. Hit-Away's a great gift year-round. Have your credit card ready to order your Hit-Away right now. Hit-Away helps you improve your swing and get more hits. This holiday, order 2 or 3. Hit-Away's the perfect holiday gift for everyone who loves baseball. Order Hit-Away right now.
ESPN's presentation of NBA Friday, brought to you by Saab. People who test drive a Saab usually buy one.
Well, it's time for the dunks of the night, and we start with my man, Lamar Odom, giving him some love, giving the Clippers some love. LO with the dunk. Jermaine O'Neal, 2 hands like his mama taught him. All right, how about Eddie Robinson, Greg Anthony?
Thank you.
The oops upside your head to the junkyard dog. Kelvin Cato with the noise. How about this one? Jake Bosco, Tom Tolbert asked if we add this one. And then, of course, Vince gets in the mix, a little Vinsanity. Kenyon Martin Strong. KG on Yao. And my dunk of the night, Tracy McGrady backwards. All right, our top performers, Kobe Bryant having a monster game. T-Mac, his 7th straight 30-point game. Stephon Marbury, a season-high 15 assists. Oh, he played extremely well. Hell, anything else that jumps out? How about Yao with 13 rebounds? Tom Tolbert, Bill Walton, your dunk of the night.
Oh, dunk of the night's got to be KG. You dunk over a guy at 7'6". That's got, I mean, the Grady's are sweet, but you dunk over a guy at 7'6", you got to get dunked of the night.
Before Bill comments, let me tell you that Sunday night, Bill Walton's Long Strange Trip from ESPN Original Entertainment, the first episode, including a visit with his old team.
And then 86, the 16th and final one. It's been too long. They're lonely up there. You got to have it. You got to stroke more threes.
A visit with the Celtics and Paul Pierce on Bill Walton's Long Strange Trip that will debut on ESPN on Sunday evening at 8 Eastern. Bill?
We've been having a tremendous time filming this. Yes, I've had a blessed life, and this is a chance for everybody to get to come and jump on the bus. The party has begun.
Is this just one episode, Bill?
Absolutely not. It's ongoing.
Oh, so
7 weeks.
Oh, there'll be 7 of them.
7 weeks, Sunday night, 8 o'clock Eastern time.
No, is there two meanings? A strange trip?
This is the Lakers' largest lead of the second half at 10. A must-score possession for Sacramento is a turnover by Bibby, who wanted the foul. Lakers are 5-on-4 on this end. Mike now rejoins the play.
Sacramento's falling apart.
Shaq missed. Shaq return. Fouled by Blotto, who is complaining he's going to get a tee in about 2 seconds. He's complained about the last 3 calls as things have gone south for the Kings.
Well, what you're seeing here with the Sacramento Kings is, with the absence of Chris Webber, no inside game. And that's where they get a lot of their scoring. Throw it into Webber. He's such a great passer. He can do what Shaq's been doing and find guys. They don't have that presence right now.
You're seeing why the Maloofs shelled out $127 million to Chris Webber.
Shaq 11 of 12 from the line. Bibby wanted the call on this end here.
That's not a foul.
Terrific night at the line for O'Neal. 12 of 13. The foul on Stojakovic was his 5th. Quite a time for the Lakers to equal their largest lead of the night. They're up a dozen as we come to 5 minutes.
Well, Sacramento finally able to get a shot to go down, but they struggled back so many times. 3 times they cut it to 1. Twice they tied it, but they never took the lead, and that just drains you emotionally, and it doesn't let the crowd give you that extra push.
27th time this year Sacramento scored 100 or more. This is game 48 for the Kings. Heap feeding the big fella. George kept it alive. Great hustle by Devin George. Kobe wide open.
At the last minute, Shaq was wide open, was calling for it, and Kobe took his eyes off the rim and just broke his concentration. One of the few times he's thrown up a clunker tonight.
Kings need one here to get back within a couple of possessions. Pager +1. That's exactly what they needed, too, guys.
Yeah, prayer.
What a shot. I mean, just throw it up there off the glass. Coming day. He was coming down when he shot that shot. He got hit. You're going to watch him right here go right by Rick Fox. Jump up in the air. Fox gets him from behind, and then on the way down throws it up there.
Rick, when he plays against Peja Stojakovic, rarely gambles. Technical foul.
Double technical on O'Neal and Jim Jackson, perhaps?
Fox knows how critically important Stojakovic is, and he just stays at home, doesn't bite on penetration, doesn't try to help anybody else out. That gamble cost him dearly with the 3-point play.
A 6-0 Pager run has made it a 6-point game. As soon as we're done, Sports Center will break down this game tonight in the NBA, the LeBron James story as well. Fox, a very deep 3. Oh, Rick Fox!
How casual did that look? He's going to catch, turn. Oh, they just cut our lead to 6. Not so fast, back up to 9.
I thought it was a jump pass at first. Fox has hit 3 triples on the night. Stojakovic trying to take over offensively for Sacramento. He scored their last 8.
Well, you can't let him go left. You got to make him go back to the right. Rick Fox doing all he can, but boy, once he gets that engine moving left, he can fire at will.
Page has 33. His season high is 37. Lakers going to be patient. Devin George creates contact.
Oh, what a pass. What a pass. How long does Phil Jackson leave Robert Horry on the bench over here?
Jimmy Jackson, a huge trip for the Kings. Spinning. From 12 to 5. Jimmy Jackson likes it. And the fans on their feet in Arco trying to pull their team back one last time.
Gotta find Zach.
Christie the double. Rotation. Left 3, Fox. First 3 of the night.
Wow.
+8 inside of 3. Asia, a response.
Getting warmed up for All-Star Weekend early.
The reigning champion of the three-point shooting contest. Fisher wants it. Buys it. Oh, man, what a 3-minute stretch.
Who's in shape? Who's got the mental toughness?
That was a 2. It's a 7-point lead. Stojakovic continuing. Vlade. That's over the back on Divac. He fouls Evan George.
Evan George will get a trip to the line. He's earned some playing time here. Phil Jackson showing the confidence and trust in him. Joe Crawford, fortunately, he's here tonight.
A foul on Divac. So we have a timeout with 2:15 to go. The Lakers have free throws coming. I believe their lead is now 8.
The Saab 9.5 with the addictive power of turbo and a 5-star rating from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
T-shirt, $18. Spider-Man watch, $20. Men in Black sunglasses, $16. Hearing your dad scream like your little sister, priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard, the official thrills and chills card of Universal Orlando.
Pizza Hut announces new stuffed crust gold. The pizza with a ring of cheese baked inside the crust now has zesty cheddar cheese around the outer rim for a toasted crunch. Get a stuffed crust pizza for $9.99 or go for the gold for $1 more. Stuffed crust gold. New at Pizza Hut.
Ready?
Yeah.
This is called action.
No better, no better.
That's pretty lame.
No,
that was right there.
Out of bounds.
Easy does it, man.
I want a rematch.
Whatever.
Man.
Wait your turn.
Yeah, you know what? Why don't you stay over there, copy boy?
Yeah,
exactly.
let's coffee.
All right.
Tonight on SportsCenter, Young and Dunn. What's LeBron's next move? West Coast culture clash, Lakers and Kings. The NBA's newest bad boys are at it again.
Back on NBA Friday here at Arco Arena with Stuart Scott, Tom Tolbert, Bill Walton, Mike Tirico. Lakers lead by 8. I said when we were going to break, I think it's 8, not 7. Here is why. They had posted a 2 on this Derek Fisher shot. The officials can't go to replay to check it, but did come over to tell the table it was an error over there. It was called a 3, and you saw the arms of Derek Richardson, the official, up right away. So they corrected it during the break, and the Lakers lead by 8. But guys, so you look at those 4 threes made by the Lakers. You think about it, Stojakovic's threes have kept Sacramento in it here in the fourth quarter. But Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal were carrying LA. And what's been the rap of this team all year? When are the other guys going to hold up their end of the bargain? Well, they did those 3 possessions.
Oh, Rick Fox, Derek Fisher, Brian Shaw made some major contributions early.
Well, that's one thing you know about the Laker veterans. They've been through all this before. They're not going to be scared
The Lakers
shoot a three-pointer in the end of the game. Even if you haven't shot the ball in a quarter, Rick Fox is more than capable, as he showed.
Lakers love these games. I mean, they live for these games. Besides the health problems for Los Angeles, particularly Shaq this year, boredom has been their biggest problem.
It's funny you said that. Devin George, Robert Horry, Rick Fox all told me pregame, this is great. I love coming here to play. This is as good as it gets. Give me a crowd. A crowd that doesn't like you.
That's the best part.
Christie blocked by Kobe Bryant.
Boy, got him in lockdown there. Derek Fisher did a real nice job on Mike Bibby, not allowing the penetration, and Kobe with a fantastic closeout.
Shaq's just out there smiling.
Christie's shot was changed by O'Neal. Divac the putback. Very quiet night for a lot of guys. Just 4 points.
I was thinking the same thing. I haven't heard his name, and he's a guy that should, with his skills, do well against Shaq, because he can draw Shaq out, put the ball on the ground.
He is the most qualified center in the NBA to play against Shaq.
O'Neal takes him right in the lane. Got it to go. So O'Neal and Bryant each have 36 points. What a night.
Shaq is yelling over at Joe Crawford, and one. Put me on the line.
That's offensive on Stojakovic. He's gone.
Good defense by Rick Fox.
Stojakovic has fouled out as he is one shy of his season high with 36 points.
He's done everything that he could do. Can't say the same for a number of his teammates.
15 in the fourth quarter for Peja, who fouls out of the game for the first time this season.
Rick Fox does a good job just beating him. I'm telling you what, the time he spent on that, the acting is so good. The Oz.
Come on, Rick Fox is lucky he's not in a wheelchair.
Kobe let Turkoglu go in the air, missed it. That's the first time that Stojakovic has fouled out in his NBA career in the regular season, over 300 games. Jim Jackson.
Wild shot.
Out of bounds, off Turkoglu. Reminder, Sports Center is coming your way. All the stories you see on the bottom line will be in highlight form.
The one that's really interesting to me, as the fans are heading to the exit here, is the LeBron James story. And here's a guy who's driving a $50,000 Hummer as a high school student. His mom is unemployed. His dad is in jail. He's got ice all over his body, and then they bust him for getting 2 retro jerseys.
He's got ice all over his body. You trying to get hip? Are you trying to get hip?
Kobe is fouled.
I don't know what you're talking about, Tom.
Did they look dope? Were they fresh?
It is. I'm sorry, guys. You're losing me. You're losing me to tragically hip guys. It is an interesting story that will be broken down. You feel bad for the kid. He broke rules. Rules are made to be kept, and if you break a rule in high school, you have to keep the sanctity of what you're trying to do with a rule book. However, you feel bad that LeBron James is the one who's going to pay for it, and his teammates in this whole situation. Fabulous night for O'Neal. 12 of 22 from the field, 12 of 13 from the line. 36 points, 10 boards, and 6 assists, more than anybody else in the game tonight. The difference from game 1, a little more from Kobe and Shaq, but 38 points from those other 4 big scorers. A little bit more than they had on Christmas night on ABC.
And exquisite at the free throw line as a team, the Los Angeles Lakers.
28 of 32 here tonight, Bill. A Laker victory here will give LA 8 of their last 11. They'll be 18 and 14 since Shaq returned to the lineup. More importantly, guys, they'll be 2 games under 500. Heading home tomorrow to play Utah. Hold on. Trying to set up Fox for the knockout punch there. Sacramento is going to lose for the 4th time at home this season. One of the NBA's best records, 18 and 3. Certainly understandable considering the injuries, but San Antonio, Portland, and Utah have won here. And now the Lakers. Isn't it interesting how Sacramento and the Lakers are still in Dallas's head? And I know there are injuries, but you know that the Lakers, if in a big spot in the playoffs, will walk in here reminding themselves that we've done it in Game 7 in the playoffs last year. We've done it in the regular season this year. No problem.
The thing I like about Coach Rick Adelman, too, is he won't use injuries as an excuse. It's, hey, we pay these guys. These guys are making money. Sure, the talent level is going to be a little less, but you expect guys to go in there and get the job done, and you demand excellence from these guys.
Phil Jackson and the Lakers are not going to be able to enjoy this game at all with the extremely difficult tilt against the Jazz tomorrow night, but the Sacramento Kings, they've got a built-in excuse for this game.
Oh, absolutely. And they won't use it, though. They won't use it.
No,
but you're right. The Lakers will feel good about themselves tonight. Get in the shower, take a shower, put their ice on.
They got to get back to work.
Kind of sitting at home in that half-hour stretch when the Jerry Sloan thing happened and the situation in Indiana with Ron Artest. Those both come down this week. Isn't it funny how it kind of worked out for L.A.? And Chris Webber hurt his ankle in that same game. So they play Sacramento here. They get Utah without Jerry Sloan on the bench tomorrow night. And then they play Indiana without Artest at the back end of his 4-game suspension.
The breaks of the game.
Foul on Samaki Walker. Vlade was happy to see the foul called. Are we still going to Vlade's restaurant, guys? We're gonna.
I never got invited.
That's the invitation tonight. Stuart Scott will be appearing for us, perhaps. Wallace knocked them both down. This will be a season high in points for Los Angeles. Champions until otherwise dethroned. The Los Angeles Lakers get 38 from Kobe, 36 from Shaq. Rick Fox 3 big threes in the fourth, and they win by 11. Mr. Walton, good to have you with us again.
Thanks for having me.
Bill Walton, Tom Tolbert, pleasure to have Stu Scott with us. Mike Tirico, thanks for watching this presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. More coverage coming up on SportsCenter momentarily. Lakers by 11. Now here's SportsCenter.
Aboard flight 1673 with service to New York City. You want to make sure all your carry-on items are placed all the way underneath your seat in front of you or in one of the overhead bins. Please let us know. Captain has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign.
Presenting the new 12-inch PowerBook, the world's most compact, full-featured notebook computer. And the new 17-inch PowerBook, the world's first and only 17-inch notebook computer. The new 12 and 17-inch PowerBooks. The next big and small things from Apple.
Philadelphia Eagle Donovan McNabb and his mom brought Jim Gilbert Campbell's Chunky Sirloin Burger. With loads of hearty sirloin burgers to fill him up right. He didn't leave a scrap.
Yo, can I use your phone?
I'm cool, but that's cold.
That's my son.
Don't disrespect the man's house. Dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls. Give me that. What are you doing? Yo, did you find it? You can save on every call. Just dial right down the center. 1-800-CALLATT.
It's free for you and cheap for them. You're out of mayo.
What kind of place is this?
You okay in there, man?
Save on every call. Dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
Bring home the #1 selling DVD and video of the year.
There's a monster outside my room. Can I have a glass of water?
Mel Gibson.
Don't be afraid.
M. Night Shyamalan's Signs. Only today on video and Vista Series DVD.
Chili's baby back ribs. To go.
I think it's going to be about a yard short. Bring it up 4th and 1.
Get in, get out, get on with your life.
This is SportsCenter.
Throwback the jerseys. If only it were that simple. So where is this superstar headed now? The big ticket tangles with the next big Ming. The champs scrap to hold on to their crown. The NBA's new bad boys run amok north of the border. You won't believe how ugly things got in Boston. And this southwestern sun burns brightly in L.A. Talk about a beer run. Why, all of Daytona's 160,000 fans might be cheering for this guy. Right into your living room. SportsCenter now.
Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthium, John Anderson along the way. We'll have a host of people chiming in as we discuss the LeBron James situation, all that coming up shortly.
First, guys who are allowed to take as much money, clothing, athletic tape as they wish without fear of suspension, NBA players. Kings-Lakers returning to the scene of the last season's Game 7. First, we're back to Sacramento since the deciding game of the Western Conference Finals. It's our showcase highlight. And Shaq, please, no gum chewing in the gym. Sticks it under his seat. My goodness. Lakers currently 3.5 games back of 8th place in the Western Conference. If the Rockets maintain their current pace, the Lakers are going to have to win 25 of the last 39 games to overtake them and just make the postseason. Goodness, they got a mountain to climb. First quarter, Lakers down 1. Shaq, funny me. O'Neal, 8 points. Later in the first, Kings down 8 off the turnover. Kobe with the ball, and Kobe will dunk with much force. Kobe and Shaq, 24 the Lakers, 28 first quarter points. Getting it done. My goodness. Opasia, do you have an Emery board? Not sure what that's all about, but you know, it's good hygiene, I imagine. Look at Kobe, circus shot. All the Lakers, by the way, came in one car. Lakers up 63-55. More Kobe, driving on Hedo Turkoglu. Yeah, Hedo trying to fill in for Chris Webber, not getting it done at that point. Kobe, jumping, got it. He had 13 in the quarter, 33 total. Lakers were up 89-84. In the fourth, 3-point game. Shaq dribbling down low. Look at the daddy. He gets a lot of attention, as 7-footers are wont to do. Shot clock running down. Kick to Kobe. Kobe spots up from that spot. You get 3 points. More Shaq passing. Shaq doing his thing. Shaq had 6 assists. Lakers up 106-97. Kings hanging tough, though. There's Peja. He'll massage that one for 3. Kings down 5. Peja 36 before fouling out. C-Web, all he can do is watch at this point. Shaq in the lane and over Vlade Divac. Stick that in your handbag and swing it. Lakers up 9. They win at 124-113. Well, as you saw, Webber in street clothes, not good. Last time Sacramento beat the Lakers in a game in which Chris Webber did not play, November of '95. 4 years before Webber even joined the team. Since he joined the Kings, the team has lost all 3 meetings against the Lakers in which Webber did not play. Greg Anthony had his expert eye on the Lakers Kings all night, joins us with his breakdown of the ball game.
Well, tonight's game was really more so indicative of what the Lakers have been able to do the past 3 seasons, more so than this past season. They dominated on the interior with Shaquille O'Neal and on the exterior with Kobe Bryant. If you take a look at some of these plays, Shaquille O'Neal draws a crowd again. You got 3 defenders around him. He's able to kick it out to Kobe for the open jump shot. The Sacramento had no answer for this. Again, you get Shaquille on the block, freezer right here. You see defensively they're broke down. They don't know who has containment on the interior. Again, Rick Fox slashing in for a layup. This is something that the Lakers had been able to do the past 3 seasons. They haven't had this type of rhythm or atmosphere, I should say, in terms of how they played the game up until tonight. This could be the start of something big for them. Again, Kobe huge, as well as Shaquille O'Neal played a great game. Back to you, Steve.
Okay, Greg, thank you very much. Joining us now, the men who called the game for you on ESPN, Bill Walton and Tom Tolbert. It's a game we like to call role play. Now, either one of you guys drama majors, any community theater someplace, anything like that?
I was a religion major. Spent all my time in church.
The very pious
when I wasn't studying the library sciences.
Tom, what about you?
I'm not going to respond. I'm stunned.
I think we all are, frankly. In role play now, each of you has to act a part, and tonight it's the 2 coaches. Tom, you get to be Rick Adelman, but Bill, you and Phil Jackson both wear tie-dye a lot, so you're Phil. Give us your analysis of this one as Phil Jackson.
We realized that the Sacramento Kings were shorthanded up front with the injuries to Chris Webber and Scott Pollard. So the idea was to come in and dump it into Shaq early, get him going, set the tempo, and then capitalize on Kobe Bryant's competitive greatness. And as the coach, I just wish that the guys would dump it into Shaq more and more each and every time, because when we play like that, we're a very good team to beat, very tough team to beat, and we are not looking at this in the short term, which was a step forward for us today. We have the big picture, 6 more months of basketball. We are peaking as we move forward. We're on a good roll right now. That's 2 consecutive road victories against very good teams, Phoenix and Sacramento. We're ready as we head in to the NBA All-Star game.
Phil Jackson getting booed there at Arco Arena. Rick Adelman, let's go to you. Your thoughts on this one?
Well, I'm saying to myself, publicly, I will say all the right things. I'll say, I don't care who's out there playing. I expect them to play well, and I expect to win every single game, especially at home. Privately, I'm saying, what am I going to do? I'm missing my MVP candidate. I'm missing Bobby Jackson. I know my team is the best team. I know when we get to the playoffs, we can beat this team, and I know that my team expects to beat this team. We are the best team when healthy. We play well when we've had guys injured. If we get to the playoffs and we're 100% healthy, we're going to be the NBA champions.
Well, Rick, let's look ahead to the second half now, and obviously you got to get C-Webb healthy. Beyond that, specifically, what do you need to do with your Kings team for the second half of this season?
What I need to do in the second half of the season is just get these guys healthy. And it's out of my control to get these guys out of the training room and onto the court. But when they do, with Rick Adelman, what I'm going to say is, look, I don't care if we're healthy or not. Get out there and perform and get us W's.
One of the problems that Sacramento has had of late, as they've lost 4 out of their last 5 games, is that Mike Bibby is not playing really good basketball.
Don't try to coach my team, Phil Jackson. It's my team.
Bill,
You're
stay
coaching
in
my
your
team.
role now, Bill.
Would you like
Stay
this
in your
You're
role.
coaching my team.
Over your
You
head?
are coaching my team, Mr. Jackson. I suggest you go to your locker room and leave the Kings to me.
I won't even say anything about you not coaching your team.
All right, obviously this intense conference rivalry has the two coaches at each other's throats. Tom Tolbert and Bill Walton. Guys, thanks very much for playing role play.
Still ahead inside this edition of SportsCenter, King James dethroned. If the jerseys were free, how come LeBron James has to turn in his high school uniform? And when might he play next?
This has become an absolute circus and an absolute joke.
A night after matching skills with Dirk, Kevin Garnett goes up against Yao. KG finding out just how big things are in Texas. And Isaiah Thomas was hot over Ron Artest's suspension. Friday night he boiled over and may have earned one of his own. Pacers and Raptors fight it out in Toronto.
Back in Oakland, the older players would pick on me. They wouldn't let me shoot. All I could do was pass. Look where that got me.
Sunday morning, I woke up.
Lunch should be like recess. Try a classic lunch at Denny's. Get one of our all-time favorite sandwiches. A heap of tasty fries and a hot bowl of soup. Try a Denny's classic lunch. Denny's, a good place to sit and eat.
Cooler than hell. Devil May Cry 2. Rated mature. Only from Capcom.
Let's rock, baby.
SportsCenter, brought to you by GMC. Find out if you are a professional-grade basketball fan. Log on now and take the GMC Professional Grade All-Star Basketball Challenge. And Nike East to West shoes and apparel. Available only at Foot Action.
The best prep player in the nation and a lock to be the top pick in this summer's NBA draft. Now, LeBron James is fighting just to finish his high school season, considering an appeal and possible lawsuit after he was ruled ineligible Friday for accepting 2 retro sports jerseys valued at a combined $845 for free from an Akron clothing store. The decision by the Ohio High School Athletic Association as it currently stands means James' high school career is over. Now, James can appeal, but that appeal would not be heard until February 13th. Claire Mascaro is the association's commissioner.
I was naturally disappointed for LeBron, whether he was not aware of the bylaw or why he would accept gifts. Evidently, he was not aware of it. I can't, but it was disappointing to see that he did indeed accept gifts of that value, which is in violation of the bylaw. My ruling is immediate, and also because When he accepted the gift, he became ineligible, and that was on January 25th. So therefore, when he played on January 26th, they would have to forfeit that victory.
The Ohio Athletic Association rule on amateur status states an amateur loses his or her amateur status by capitalizing on athletic fame by receiving money or gifts of monetary value. Now, on Monday, Mascaro cleared James for accepting a $50,000 Hummer from his mother after she provided loan information to support that purchase. We bring in now Bob Holtzman, who is in Akron, Ohio. And, Bob, there's certainly much at stake here, not just for LeBron James, but for his school as well, St. Vincent St. Mary of Akron. What has been happening there tonight?
Yeah, there's a lot at stake for everybody. First thing, of course, is no word from LeBron James so far here tonight, but there have been plenty of words from the people here in Akron, many of whom are upset. They feel that this punishment is far too severe for what LeBron James did. Now, those people who aren't upset with the Ohio High School Athletic Association, most of them blame the media, including James's high school coach, Drew Joyce.
What you guys have created in him, putting him on this pedestal, allowed someone to entice him. I can say that. I'm not going to make a decision for him. I have no, I've never, made a decision for LeBron as far as what's he going to do the rest of his life. When the time comes, he has a group of which I'm a part. We'll all sit down, we'll talk about it, and the decision will be made.
At this point, the St. Vincent St. Mary basketball team is the #1 team in the nation, according to the USA Today poll. Obviously, that will be changing when they forfeit the win from last Sunday. That will become their first loss of the season, obviously dropping them from #1. Steve?
So, Bob, how does this affect the team and the interest in the program? I mean, there's no way that anybody over there can't be affected by all of this.
Yeah, it's interesting because they still have a very intriguing schedule. Not only do they play again this Sunday in a rivalry game here against Canton-McKinley High School, big rivalry in this area, the next 2 weekends they take trips to Trenton, New Jersey next Saturday, and then the following Sunday down to Dayton, Ohio for a big tournament down there. A lot of tickets sold in both cities already. A lot of people with the expectations when they bought those tickets, they were going to see LeBron James. Obviously now this throws a lot of questions into the equation. Will they still play in those tournaments? Obviously at this point they probably will. Will people ask for refunds? Who knows at this point?
Okay, Bob Holtzman reporting from Akron, Ohio. Bob, thanks very much.
Thank you.
And joining us now to further discussion on LeBron James, ESPN.com's Andy Katz from College Game Night, Jay Billis. Andy, we'll begin with you because it appears the James family is trying to resolve the mess that has been created here with these jerseys.
That's right. I spoke with a source on Friday who told me that James has made an offer to the Akron store to either return the 2 jerseys or pay for them, which would be at a cost of $845. Now, this certainly would go a long way toward placating the Ohio High School Athletic Association, this kind of gesture to show that he's willing to either turn them in or pay for them.
Jay, you're a lawyer. Before we get too deep into this thing, the appeals process that's ahead of him, how do you see this maybe resolving itself then?
Really what they're going to do is in the appeals process try to analogize this to what would happen in college. That is, if a college kid took an extra benefit, like Andy said, he would give it back and the penalties would be lessened. He would essentially make restitution or reimburse the person that gave it to him. And they're going to try to take that tact first. And if that is not successful or they don't feel it would be ultimately successful, then they're going to contemplate legal action, which would first start with perhaps a temporary restraining order to reinstate him so that he could play while they're trying to work this whole situation out. And one of the things that they will focus on is the process, and that is it only took 2 days for the Ohio High School Athletic Association to make James ineligible, yet it's going to take 2 weeks for them to get together to review that decision, and that seems a bit unfair.
Yeah, how much of this, guys, is trying to make up for the SUV that's already been out there, and now we've got another reason to get him will end his season, because it seems awfully severe.
Well, listen, John, I don't think there is any debate that if not for the fact that James received this car from his mother, we would not be sitting here right now discussing his ineligibility. What that did was place a spotlight on James and announce to the world that he is being treated differently. And that got the backup of the Ohio High School Athletic Association to really state loudly that its rules have teeth and they will not be violated without them taking action.
And the problem is, how does the James family know whether or not this was an extra benefit? Because there have been extra benefits before. Jay, do you agree with that? Whether or not he would be able to discern that this is an extra benefit? Well, more of a severe case?
He should be able to discern it. I mean, there is precedent, and he should understand it. But after all, he's just a kid. And in this situation, when you're offered something, you know, how many of us at age 18 would say no to it? And I do agree with you that there's been a lot of gray area. He's been flown around by the shoe companies during the summertime, and he has received gear. And I think there is a fine line between the shoe companies giving all the gear to the schools, and they're giving them only to the best teams, and whether they get, a kid takes something. Now, tell me how that differs in the mind of an 18-year-old. I don't think it does.
As you've mentioned, he's certainly not a criminal, but who's watching this kid? Because everybody is. Who's looking out for his best interest? Especially you, Jay. You were a Division I player. You've been recruited. Shouldn't somebody go through line by line with the manual and say, kid, you could be facing a serious allegation at almost every turn?
Well, how are you going to do that, John? I mean, that's just a practical impossibility to sit down with a kid and go over every possible rule with him. And I think he should have known better. He did not show good judgment. I don't think his mother showed good judgment. But he's just a kid. He's 18 years old. And I think the people who need to answer the most questions here are the athletic administrators at St. Vincent St. Mary, because they're the ones who put this kid up for sale. They're the ones who gave the games to promoters who sold these games for $30,000 or more and gave that money to the schools. And that's an awful lot of money for one high school kid. And they changed the way they did things as far as playing games all over the country. I think they're the ones first that have to answer the hard questions.
And part of the problem is there are too many advisors going on right now. In fact, the shoe companies are dealing directly with the James family. They could get a deal done yesterday, and yet the family's also interviewing agents. In fact, Gloria James told me a couple of months ago that she didn't need an agent to get a shoe deal. The only thing she needed an agent for was to get the marketing deals for LeBron. So there's a lot of different interests going on, a lot of people, a lot of different agendas, and there isn't just one central person helping them out with their decisions.
Certainly the word amateur takes a beating in this whole thing. His NBA future, no doubt, they don't care. This is small potatoes for them. He'll still be a #1 draft pick. But Andy, will we see him again as a high school basketball player?
Well, one place for sure we will see him is in the Round Ball Classic on March 31st in Chicago at the United Center. Sonny Vaccaro, who runs that game for Adidas, told me without question LeBron James will be in that game. Now, assuming that LeBron James is going to the NBA, we all know that he will, a player who's going directly to the NBA can play in as many postseason All-Star games as he wants. A player who's going to college is only allowed to play in 2 of them. The other one certainly that he more than likely would be in if this didn't happen is the McDonald's game.
I've spoken to Morgan Wooten, who's the chairman of the selection committee for the McDonald's All-American game, and what he told me is that in order for a player to be eligible to play in the McDonald's game, that player has to be eligible to play for his high school. He has to have high school eligibility. Right now, based on the action taken by the Ohio High School Athletic Association, James is not eligible. And if he is not to be reinstated through the appeals process or through the legal process, and we're still ineligible later on when the selection is made and the game is held, then he would not be eligible to play in that game.
Quickly, each of you, yes or no, we will see him again for his high school team. Andy?
I say yes, because I'm surprised that the Ohio High School Athletic Association was able to do this. I think the pressure is going to be immense on them to reverse the decision, certainly if it comes legally.
And Jay?
I think you'll see him again. I think he'll be reinstated. The only caveat to that is there's so much more underneath the surface, and if this process digs all that out, it could be a morass that nobody can escape.
Gentlemen, clearly we have a mess, but we appreciate you trying to help us straighten it all out.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Dick Vitale is part of ESPN2's December 12th announce team, which first broadcast one of LeBron James' games to a national audience. Earlier Friday, Dickie V had his take on all this for ESPN News.
We're all the support people. We're all the people around him, giving him advice, giving him direction. This has become an absolute circus and an absolute joke. If it's only involving the jerseys and nothing else, I hope and pray that he can give them back and that they would only give him a suspension and then allow him to finish his high school eligibility. But I say shame on you to all those people that were part of him getting a Hummer and the whole deal, because I thought that was a no-no. Everybody's afraid to look LeBron James in the eye and say, son, you must be a teenager and not act like you're acting, and there'll be no Hummer, and there'll be no gifts. But nobody will do that because they're all afraid, because they all want to be part of the big pop that's going to be there come the end of March, and they all want a piece of it. I don't know where to think it was. Oh, sure, LeBron came in and said, oh, I want the Hummer, man. And everybody jumps because nobody wants to say no to him. Nobody has the guts to look him in the eye and say no. And I only hope and pray he gets good people around him, or we'll be talking about somebody that maybe could have been and would have been and should have been. But I think there's also a jealous element. I think there's an element toward the kid, because nobody likes to see people on top of the mountain. They want to knock them down. Duke gets up on top, people want to knock them down. The Yankees are up on top, people want to knock them down. You become a superstar, whatever you do in life, people want to knock you down.
LeBron James' mother, Gloria, told reporters Friday, quote, "None of us was even notified by the OHSAA that an investigation was underway, much less permitted to provide any information. We do not understand how this could be considered a fair process." Mari Stoudemire's a pro right out of high school, but he struggled lately. 1 for 12 against the Lakers Wednesday. We'll see how he did against the other LA team on Friday.
Antoine Walker returned to the Celtics lineup Friday. That was good news for the Pistons. Antoine's misfiring and the Pistons' makes made for a record night in Boston.
Winds are kicking up and the temperature's dropping. Folks, it's nasty out there. If you don't have to be out on the road, don't.
The 2003 Jaguar X-Type. The only car in its class with permanent all-wheel drive. Standard. The road is at your mercy.
Nothing like the open road.
Yeah, too bad we're out of gas.
Oh, somebody's coming. Hey, buddy, how about a lift?
No riders, not even for $1. $1 don't buy much, mister.
It does if you dial 10-10-220.
Yeah, all calls up to 20 minutes are 99 cents.
Yep, and 7 cents a minute after 20.
20 minutes or 99 cents? How about yourself a ride? You gotta sit in the back.
Great trip? Oh, be quiet.
Dial 10-10-220.
ESPN's Thursday Night Hockey. It is a rivalry born in bitterness, where every emotion is raw, every nerve on edge.
Welcome to the NHL.
From last-second heroics to thrilling moments of exultation, where champions are crowned. Hockey's Western powers take the ice. The Colorado Avalanche, the Detroit Red Wings. 8 p.m. Eastern, Thursday on ESPN.
Still doing those bills, hon?
Just resting with a credit card balance.
You've been feeding on those high interest rates.
I just switched our balance over to a Capital One no-hassle card. We're going to save $500 a year.
$500?
Check your mailbox for the Capital One no-hassle card offer to switch your high-interest balance to a great low rate. You could save up to $500 a year.
What's in your wallet?
If I look happy, it's because I've got a super night's sleep in my Craftmatic Monaco adjustable bed. I'm also delighted because of the free TV I received. You can get a free 25-inch color TV with the purchase of any Monaco adjustable bed, too. Just call toll-free to receive this free TV certificate by mail. Call to have your free 25-inch color TV certificate and complete details about Monaco mailed to you right away.
Call 1-800-544-1000.
From ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, this is SportsCenter.
Pistons at the Fleet on Friday. Celtics 16 NBA championships, more than any other team in the league. 4,392 games the Celtics had never had a night like they did on Friday. Antoine back after missing 4 games with that sprained right knee. Antoine, a little rusty. Misses a 3, but he's 0 for 1, so no big deal. You know, he'll warm up. He'll get into the flow. All right, it's going to take a little longer than we thought. Antoine, really. All right, this may really take a long time here. Turn around, that's no good. But don't worry, Tony Battie is there to follow this up. Uh-oh. All right, here's Antoine one-on-one. This is usually good. All right. Walker 0 for 5 before he finally made a 3. Let's try another 3. He'll hit those all day. All right, well, maybe not. 1 for 7. Spin move right here and count. Well, no, 1 for 8. All right. Under 5 seconds left, first quarter. Corliss, finger rolls, anyone? Pistons up by 12. But don't worry, Boston has Antoine. They can come back because, you know, he's back wearing that knee brace. And, all right, 1 for 9. Antoine open for 4. All right, he's 1 for 10. Boston hit 23 of 79 shots in the game.
Keep trucking.
He is still yet to find a Tommy point at this point. Second quarter, Corliss underneath. Overflow. Detroit leads by 22. Don't worry, Jim O'Brien. Antoine is going to come back. You know, slow start, but he'll pick it up now late second quarter. Walker, 1 for 12 in the first half. Boston, 14 points in the second quarter. They scored 17 in the third. And Antoine, well, it's just not going to go. He's 1 for 14 after missing that one there. And then on the fast break, Antoine will finish. Antoine Walker in this game, 1 for 15. He had 6 points. Richard Hamilton. Pistons up by 33. Do you sense a blowout here? Fourth quarter, Hamilton. Another one, he had 29. Pistons by 40. And the Boston fans, you know, they're starting to turn on the home team here.
Davis. Oh, this is ugly.
Tommy Heinsohn would be rolling over in his grave if he were dead. It's a 51-point Pistons lead, 35 two-run. Now they're up by 60 after Tayshaun Prince hits a three. They're up 60 and Tayshaun Prince is shooting threes. Pistons win 118-66, worst loss in Celtics history. All right, let's move on. Spurs in Orlando. David Robinson averaging 25.4 points per game against the Magic. His most versus any team. Second quarter, Tony Parker finds the Admiral. Robinson a season-high 20. Parker a career-high 13 assists. Later in the second, T-Mac showing that versatility. Brady right. Oh, no! He did not do that! Yes, he did, and just to prove it, we look at it one more time. Spurs up by 10 at that point, though. Magic down 1, 15 seconds left. McGrady for the lead. Oh, a big shot. T-Mac 12 of his 35 in the fourth quarter. To the other end now. Timmy Duncan following his own shot. He had 17 rebounds, 23 points. Now the Spurs are up by 1. So 4 seconds left. Orlando's going to get a chance to pull this out. T-Mac, this for the win. Oh, he pulls an Antoine there.